We're out of the brand name, but we do have the generic version.
Serene's Pharmacy can't keep up with allergy season.
Who's next in line?
They need certified technicians to alleviate the headache.
Ma'am, I'm so sorry for the wait. We'll have your prescription filled soon. I need some help.
Indeed can help them hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Instant Match instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Nhra and Levine studios. Nhra and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station.
This is Sports Center.
I'm Christine Lisi. The Nets get a huge boost tonight with the return of Kevin Durant. He said after the morning shoot-around he'll play against the Heat tonight. In the 21 games that KD missed, Brooklyn went 5-16, tumbled from near the top of the East down to 8.
Under 20 games left in the season, but that's a situation, that's a circumstance, You know what the standings are, everybody's telling us every day how far we're dropping and where we may end up, and constantly telling us the situation we're in. But we understand that, and we know that each day is important, so we focus on tonight and just keep plugging away.
Kevin Durant. Representatives from Major League Baseball and the Players Association held an informal meeting today as they resumed labor talks amid the sports lockout. The 90-minute meeting covered the core issues that led to the league canceling the first week of the regular season. The NFL suspended all aspects of its COVID-19 protocols, citing recent trends showing the spread of the coronavirus is declining. The league leaves open the possibility of reverting to a level of protocols if circumstances warrant. Teams are still, however, required to comply with state and local laws.
Need to spring back in the hiring season? You need Indeed, the smart hiring platform that delivers 4 times more hires than all other sites combined, according to Talent Nest. Post a job and hire ASAP. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Nhra and Levine studios. This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 with Brent Martineau and Austin Lane.
Can you be a good-looking man at 336 pounds?
Of course, man. You can be a good looking man at any kind of weight.
Evan Neal might be that guy.
Yeah.
We think these offensive linemen is like these fat guys.
Yeah.
Not the case.
No, he's, I'm not sure what his body fat percentage is, but he looks pretty lean for that size.
I might have more of a belly than Neal did.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I weigh 140 pounds less.
Yeah.
That was impressive. He's impressive, and that's why he's really probably pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
The other guy you played with, he wasn't this big, though, that it struck me how athletic he looked at the offensive line position.
Okay.
Is Eugene Monroe?
Yeah, man. Yep.
Eugene Monroe.
Absolutely.
I was like, man, that looks like that's not the lineman that I pictured. What was Eugene? Eugene was probably like 6'5".
Yeah, 6'4", 6'5".
But he was like on the lighter side, right?
No, there was a whole stint where he got super into health and everything.
Yeah.
And he changed up his diet, and that resulted in him weighing 285. I think that was back in 12 or 11.
I think you're right.
But I remember
under 300. Yeah.
Oh no, for sure. And Jack was really upset about that. So he made Eugene gain the weight back, obviously. But I always said if an offensive lineman got the cover men's health, it'd be Eugene Monroe for sure.
Well, and I think after his career, he did a lot with the health stuff too. But Evan Neal is 6'7". That's only 2 more inches on. I mean, just think, you're 245, 6'6", so that's 1 more inch, and he's got 100 more pounds on his frame, basically.
Yeah, it's wild, man.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah.
Really, and it looks good. That's my point. It's not like a lot of pizza and donuts.
Yeah. No, we just see the side profile, or we see a front-on profile.
I saw the side.
Yeah, I saw the side too.
Yeah.
That's an Instagram
maybe it's
trick.
Photoshopped.
You know what I'm saying? No, I ain't saying that. I'm just saying side profiles, man. What is this, Instagram? You can do a lot of tricks with side profiles. I need to see the front-on profile.
Yeah, well, you're not going to see him work out, so there's that. And, obviously, he's pretty I think everybody knew he'd be pretty impressive. My guess is in the room, he's really impressive. I think the Alabama guys tend to be anyway. But, there's a lot to like about Evan Neal. Well, listen, if Evan Neal's the top guy, and if Evan Neal, like, people are right, and we're still way away, we're still 2 months away. If Evan Neal ends up in Jacksonville, that is not a bad thing. Let's just say that, right?
Yeah. I mean, what it comes down to basically is if Evan Neal truly did weigh 360 or 370 when he played in college, and now he weighs what he weighs at, what was it, 337?
Yeah, 337.
337. Coaches love that. I mean, obviously, okay, he can carry the weight better, that's fine. But what coaches look for in that is the fact that he's a hard worker, right? Because he understood the assignment in saying, all right, you may be a little overweight to play the position. Can you play a full game? We probably want you to cut just a couple pounds just because, that's kind of the status quo these days for left tackles or right tackles alike. So that shows more than anything is that he's willing to, do the assignment. He's a hard worker, which is what you want, obviously, at the combine.
Absolutely. I think those things are important. You can have all the gift and talent in the world, but do you want to be great?
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I think that'd be the number one question in those interviews. And everybody's going to say yes.
Yeah.
But can you find out if that guy really wants to be great? It's one of the big things about paying people. Free agency, your own guys. Are they going to play to the level that they did? Are they going to be as hungry when they get paid? And by the way, human nature is no.
Yeah.
If somebody handed me $45 million and I never had that kind of money, you're asking me to work just as hard for the next 5 years as I worked the previous 5?
Yeah.
I mean, that's not really realistic, is it?
I mean, it depends what the priorities are.
Well, exactly. You have to try to figure that out.
Oh, for sure.
Because everybody's going to lie to you and say, oh, yeah, I'm going to work as hard. Just give me the 45.
Yeah, I mean, if money is the motive, I think some of that work ethic and some of that motivation goes down the drain.
Yeah, and that's where the greats are separated, where they can still work. Yeah. But I still think that's a hard thing because, you're already talking about a 1% athlete. Well, now you're talking about even a bigger minority of people that would seriously still bust their butt after getting $45 million and had life all set.
For sure.
And that's – now, listen, Evan Neal's not there yet. Evan Neal might get paid $25, $30 million, but he has a chance now. There is a carrot for Neal in the first 4 or 5 years to be great because if he's great, he might make $100 more million.
Yeah.
So that there's a little bit difference there. So anyway, Evan Neal and these offensive linemen continue to be a story, and they are a big story for the Jaguars at number 1. I've come around a little bit on the offensive lineman talk, and mostly because scar tissue of I don't want the Jags getting this one wrong, and I think that might be the safest play for them from a conservative standpoint is getting a blockbuster guy on the offensive line, whether it's Ekwonu or Neal. I've seen enough now and heard enough that both kind of get me excited, and I think both are going to be pretty good. I don't know if this is Eric Fisher, Luke Jokel. Like, one is pretty good and the other's out of the league in 6 years, and even the pretty good is probably not number 1 overall pick kind of good because that's kind of what Fisher was. He definitely wasn't like Hall of Fame material good, which is kind of what you look at if you're going to pick a left tackle or a tackle.
And one would argue that Lane Johnson of that class is probably the best tackle.
That's a
so
good
far.
point. Yeah, and he was picked a little bit later on. I think 6, 7, 8, somewhere in there. The other big story at the Combine continues to be hand size.
Sure.
9-inch hands.
Yeah.
Not nails, but 9-inch hands.
Yeah.
Is kind of like, that's a little small by NFL standard.
Okay.
There are players like Russell Wilson, by the way, 10-inch hands, even though he's not a big guy.
Drew Brees had that.
Drew Brees, too. So I feel like we talk about this every year.
Yeah, because I feel like we had the conversation with Kyler Murray a couple years back.
We did. I think this was a Teddy Bridgewater conversation as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Remind
Mike
me
Vick had 8.5.
Yeah. So that's an 8.5 guy, and he could let
Mike
it fly.
Vick, yeah.
So what was interesting is I think the word out of the Combine this week is that this is more of a media-driven thing and less of a scouts and teams-driven thing. Do you sense that too, or do you think teams really do have concern over a measurable like that? And I guess I would ask, why measure it then if it's not really a big concern?
Because it's the NFL Combine, and you just want to see where every quarterback relates to every other quarterback, where every defensive lineman relates to every defensive lineman. All it is just a measuring tool. Do I think teams put a lot of stake into hand size? I mean, I don't know. Joe Burrow was 9 inches a couple years ago, and he was the number 1 pick overall, and how'd that work out for him? So,
that's the latest and greatest example.
The old school theory with hand size is the fact that the bigger hands you have, the stronger that you are. And that's kind of always been the fabled reason why hand size is so important in NFL rooms. I think, I'm not sure if they did like a sports science on this, but I think that's always true in terms of like if you have bigger hands, that means you're going to be stronger. Now, strength is important at the quarterback position. I think the ability to grip a football when it's raining is an important characteristic to have when you're a quarterback, but it's not the end-all, be-all. And, social media being social media, people love to take that and run with it. So, is hand size important? It's a measurable. On the hierarchy of where does that measurable rank within, 40-yard dash times and shuttle? I think it's very, very down the list. I wouldn't let hand size dictate if I'm going to draft somebody or not.
I would say this, and I think it's kind of a funny topic in a way. But I can't deny this, that when you have a guy that's on the bottom of the spectrum of that, in this case, Kenny Pickett, who has 8.5 size hands, and the average in the NFL might be like 9.5, right? And so that's skewed another way. Well, then you're asking for him to have something else or do something else that kind of covers that up and is better than the other half of the league. That has bigger hands than him. And I don't know what the measurable is. Maybe he's a little faster. Maybe he's a little smarter. Maybe he's better on the board. Maybe all these things. And so when you have a weakness, if that is a perceived weakness, well, then what can you do to make up for it in a different way? That's just sports in general, whether we're measuring speed, arm strength, or in this case, hand size. And while I do think it's a little bit of a laughable thing, I also don't want to be hypocritical with myself saying you're looking for greatness when you draft in the first round. You're looking for greatness out of QBs if you draft in the first round. When I think of the greatest players that I can think of that I've either met or have done well in sports, one of my comments about them actually, Austin, is their hands are huge. Okay. Like, I look at Pedro Martinez, man, who's not a big guy. He's a slight guy. He's like 5'10", 145 pounds. Go look at his hands. Sure. And what he did to a baseball and strangled that thing.
But you get the sense that it makes a difference in baseball because the bigger the hands, like a baseball can fit in your hand. Like a football is different. Yeah. Like you can't, you're not going to have your whole hand go around the football.
No, but I would say, like, look at the Bradys. I go back to a guy I met and grew up watching all the time, is Marino. Okay. And it's noticeable that these guys have, like, monster hands. They really do. Like, that big. My favorite one now, he's 7'1" tall. Artis Gilmore's got the hardest handshake ever. Mm-hmm. And he's got massive hands, right? So basketball players, you would figure as well. Most of them are on the tall side, probably have, big hands. So I'm just, again, this is a lot on hand talk, but I'm not sure it's as dismissive as some are making it around the combine this week as well. I don't think it should send Kenny Pickett into the third round and he's never going to be able to complete a pass in the NFL.
No, correct.
But I do think it's an interesting note that he has a lot smaller hands than most of the average quarterbacks do in the NFL. I think there's something slight to it at the very least.
Yeah, to me, it depends. What does that mean? Okay, so Marino, Brady, they had big hands. Kenny Pickett has to have big hands. Like, to me, you have to give me more concrete evidence of why that's a big deal. And I'm not sure any NFL team can do that. Like I said, Mike Vick had 8.5, and I'm not sure when that was announced. If people had an issue with that, and this was a dual threat guy, obviously, who liked to run with the football.
Yeah.
And this was a guy who I think was respected for having a very strong arm.
And played in some tough weather in Philly.
Yeah, of course. So, unless you can bring me some sort of concrete evidence and say, this is why it sucks to have small hands if you're a quarterback in the NFL, I think people overblow it.
Yeah, I would say that too. And I think it was interesting coming out of the combine. This is the first time I remember, now maybe some other people had said it, is that basically the personnel people are like, that's a media-driven thing. Mm-hmm. The scouts aren't really like that wrapped up in it. But then I do say, I'm like, okay, then why are you measuring it for it other than everything's measured? But it gets me thinking, what other measurables that we kind of go crazy about don't matter in sports or don't always matter? Like if the guy – and here's one for you. Like I think the combine's full of this stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I think the combine, somebody told me a story one time, I can't remember who it was, but like about Phil Hansen. Remember he was a pass rusher for the Buffalo Bills? And he did like nothing on the 225 bench. Like, it was, I don't know what they were, but it was like relative to everybody else, it was nothing. Well, the guy grew up like throwing bales of hay on a farm, and he would just throw people out of the way. He was just countryman strong. And it didn't matter that he couldn't do 25 reps on the two. So I was like, in that instance, well, that's a stupid measurable.
Well, so they use that measurable of the bench press because they want to see who lives in the weight room or not. Because the theory is that if you stay with the weight program and you follow the protocols of what your strength coaches have put out for you, then, if you're a defensive lineman or offensive lineman, I think the ground average is you should be able to lift at least 225 20 times. That states that you followed the programs, you never slacked off in terms of the weight room. If you get below that as a guy in the trenches, then that means that you maybe took some days off.
Yeah, that makes sense. So it's more about, a little bit more about work ethic too.
No, that's right. To me, that's all it is. Because, I played with a guy by the name of Stephen Paya, who I think still holds the record of 225 with 49 reps. And I've seen this guy, during the offseason, I worked out with him. And it was absolutely ridiculous of just how strong that guy was. Now, in terms of strength and using it in the football field, he was a great player. I think he might have been a first or second round pick by Chicago out of Oregon State. But, he wasn't the most dominant, defensive tackle out there. Because, there's weight room strength and then there's football strength, right? I'm not sure.
That's the Hansen story, too.
Exactly. I'm not sure, what Aaron Donald bench pressed at 225, but I think it's safe to say Aaron Donald might be the strongest defensive lineman in the league right now. Just watch how the guy plays. I'm not sure what his bench press was.
He probably benched pretty good, too. He looks like it.
I hope so. Because he got shorter arms, I feel like. But no, to me, that bench press drill is all about just seeing who's the workout warriors and who's the guys that maybe kind of slacks off a little bit.
Yeah, and I hear you. Listen, I think you could make the case that the 40 is an overrated time, especially now because everybody runs 4.4.
Yeah.
And, is there really that? Everybody is fast now. The world is fast. The athlete is fast. Faster than they've ever been. More of them that are fast. And the two best receivers in the NFL, you can make the case, aren't really that fast.
Yeah.
Cooper Kupp and Devontae Adams are not blazers.
Yeah, neither is DeAndre Hopkins, too.
Yeah, and now there's room for blazers. There's Tyreek Hill who changes games, right? So there's certainly that element. But, these two guys that have mastered the position essentially right now in the NFL, that's why one of the reasons Cooper Kupp was a third-round pick.
Yeah.
Right?
No, absolutely. To me, it's all about the route running. That's what it is. And then everything is secondary. By the way, Aaron Donald, 225, 35 times. So
35?
That sounds about right.
Yeah. I
believe. Actually,
I feel like I've seen some video of him in the weight room, and it's pretty crazy.
Yeah. But, I think in terms of the 40-yard dash, it's definitely more of a sexy thing for the skill guys, right? Every once in a while you have a freak of nature who's an edge rusher who runs a 4.5, and it's like, well, then you got to take a look at this guy. Because if he can run a 40-yard dash in 4.5 seconds, that probably means that his 10-yard get-off is just as good. So that's where that comes into play. So, it does kind of show athleticism a little bit and just overall body, I guess, development of just how developed you are. But, yeah, it is a little overblown in terms of, this receiver ran a 4.5, 4.6. He's not going to amount to anything.
Yeah, the Wonderlic test is going extinct anyway, so that's another example of it, right? That's another example, of these tests that everybody puts so much weight in or has at times, and now it's like, okay, what does it mean? And I wonder where we are 10, 15 years. We've said is the shuttle run more important, the cone drill more important, depending on what position. I'll bring this to other sports. I always think it's laughable, really, in baseball, the kids that are all going through stuff, and whether it's perfect game or whatever, everybody measures 60-yard dash. It's there's one position where you run that long in baseball, and that's if you're in center field to get to that kind of speed. Now, speed. So you got to need, but I just don't a 60-yard dash in baseball doesn't tell the story. Doesn't tell if you can hit, doesn't tell if you can field, doesn't tell if you have instinct, doesn't tell anything. And so I've always been curious about that one. I don't understand why that's one of the 4 measurables at tryouts in big-time baseball all across the country right now. Some people might disagree with me, but I don't think it makes a lot of sense. What's interesting in the NBA is you're seeing two of the best players in the game right now, two of the most entertaining definitely in the game, Ja Morant and Steph Curry. And I can only guess what those guys' measurables were.
Yeah, but vertical, well, see, they're different, though. Ja's vertical
is insane.
Might be in the 40s.
Oh, true. He's at the top of the backboard.
Yeah. So his vertical is insane. I mean, Steph Curry is not really knocking you off with, I think, athleticism per se. But, yeah, I think Ja's got speed and athleticism.
I don't even know what do they – like, I don't know. In football, like, I know some stuff in baseball, but in basketball, like, at the NBA combines, like, what do they look at? Is it
vertical
wingspan?
Wingspan is huge.
Yeah.
Because that means about defense and stuff.
That's a good one.
I think, like, lateral movement is huge for defense more, again.
See, I've always thought, like, like you're talking even the NFL, cornerbacks, right, that lateral movement, hip movement, all that stuff. I've loved – I don't know if it's an overrated thing or an underrated thing, but the wingspan and the catch radius for a receiver, to me, should be a higher measurable. It should be more impactful. Like, I think that's huge.
Yeah.
I mean, they've had some crazy numbers on people, but I remember a guy like Justin Blackmon, I think, had a great catch radius.
Sure, yeah.
Like, I think it relates to pretty good players if you have that.
I would say so.
You know?
Yeah.
So, anyway, 8.5 size hands. Kenny Pickett still go in the first round?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think that's going to be the deal breaker.
All right. Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. More from the Combine. Big day for the offensive lineman. That's where the Jags could go with that number 1 overall pick. We'll be back here on a Thursday.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Today we'll have plenty of sunshine and warm temperatures again, but comfortable humidity, highs in the low 80s. Clear and cool tonight down to 49 and partly sunny tomorrow. Your Friday high in the mid to upper 70s. I'm TV meteorologist Mike Burrish. Join me today beginning at 5 p.m. on CBS 47 and Fox 30 Action News Jax.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beard's Diamonds. Before you buy a diamond anywhere, shop Beard's Diamonds.
This is Robert Palmer, president of RP Funding, and we've paid over $80 million in closing costs. Visit rpfunding.com to see how much we'll pay for your refinance. Or call 855-773-8634.
Terms and conditions apply. Unless 7168 Equal Housing.
People often ask me, how much money do I have to pay you up front to be my personal lawyer? The answer is nothing. It's free unless we win. What about a slip and fall or car crash case? Free unless we win.
Morgan & Morgan. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Competitors and fans can try free samples of Celsius Essential Energy at the Gate River Run this Saturday. Celsius aims to inspire those who want to live fit by providing a sustained energy source that's specially formulated to work with your body to help you reach your goals. Try delicious sugar-free flavors like Mango Passion Fruit, Tropical Vibe, and Grape Rush. Stop by the Celsius Essential Energy booth at the finish line for free samples. Celsius Essential Energy. Live fit.
One night in Daytona is unlike any other. Daytona Supercross, happening Saturday, March 5th at the World Center of Racing. Nowhere gets you closer to the action. Nobody but Ricky Carmichael could design this course. It's the one and only AMA Supercross event in Florida. Be there as the biggest names battle it out, under the lights in what's sure to be a race for the record books. Get your tickets and trackside access by calling 1-800-PIT-SHOP or visiting DaytonaInternationalSpeedway.com.
It's where I take my family to play golf, and you can take yours as well. The Golf Club at Southampton. It's the home of the Action Sports Jax Dream 18, and it can be your golf destination. Enjoy your golf experience by calling 287-PLAY, 287-PLAY. Play some golf or maybe practice some golf at one of the newest facilities in the area. Grab some lunch or dinner, too. Southampton has it all. 287-PLAY for tee times and more. The Golf Club at Southampton, the home of the Dream 18, my home course. Make it your home course, too.
Beard's Diamond's most exciting offer is back for a limited time.
0% financing for 5 years. Plus, get $0 down.
It's the sale smart jewelry shoppers wait for.
You get Beard's already low prices, but then you get to spread your payments out for 60 months with no money down. But hurry, this incredible finance opportunity won't last long.
How about a $6,000 Decory or Veragio ring?
You pay just $100 a month.
Or a pair of $3,000 stud earrings.
You pay just $50 a month.
And And every purchase at Beard's Diamonds is backed by our free lifetime guarantee.
Now's the time to get her that designer setting she's been dreaming about.
And spread your payments out for 5 years. Simply divide your total price by 60, and that's all you'll pay per month.
Don't miss out on the best deal of the year. 0% financing for 5 years. Plus, get 0 down on everything in the store.
Beard's Diamonds at the St. John's Town Center or at beardsdiamonds.com.
Get the lowest prices on diamonds in Jacksonville, guaranteed at Beard's Diamonds.
On the court, every shot counts. And every shot counts when it comes to COVID-19. I did my part and got the vaccine when it became available. The state of Florida made it easy for seniors like me. And now it's easy for all eligible Floridians to get a shot. In the fight against COVID-19, every shot counts. Schedule yours today.
This message is sponsored by the Florida Department of Elder Affairs, the Florida Association of Broadcasters, and this station.
Do you check your Google search results regularly? You should. People often get their first impression of you or your business online. Negative comments on the internet can impact your life and your livelihood. Take control of your online reputation. Get your free reputation report card at reputationdefender.com. It may reveal negative posts from an ex-employee, upset patient or client, news article, legal issue, or even exposed personal information right there in your Google search results. Uncover what's lurking on the internet about you with reputationdefender.com's patented scan and get your free reputation report card. Or for immediate assistance with your reputation, call 800-401-6681. Our cutting-edge technology helps make your Google search results look their best. Call 800-401-6681. That's 800-401-6681. 800-401-6681. Or take the free scan at reputationdefender.com.
Listen to ESPN 690 anytime, anywhere, on any device. Whether you're at home or on the go, get the latest on the Jags, FSU, the Jumbo Shrimp, and Action Sports Jax on Odyssey.com. That's AUDACY.com or on ESPN690.com.
Well, on the inside, everything just happens faster, so your reaction time has to be different. You know, you pretty much have to set and throw your hands like right now. But at tackle, you have to have more patience, and the set angles are different for sure. You kind of got to gauge it and, feel it out for sure. And it kind of depends on the guy that I'm going up against. If I feel like it's a guy that's really, really good with his hands, he's going to knock him down. I have to be more patient with my punch and be better with timing it up.
Is that Evan Neal?
It is.
Get used to that voice.
Oh, yeah?
Maybe.
Do you know something?
No.
Okay.
Not enough. Not that kind of money in the Venmo.
I got you. I said earn some of that trust, don't you?
What's that?
I said you still have to earn some of that trust.
Yeah, I don't trust anybody.
I got you.
Not after the last 2 months.
No,
I trust nobody.
No, man. Yeah,
not even close.
Hey, did you write that apology?
No, not yet.
All right.
I got it coming.
We'll be waiting.
Maybe it's right after NBA Slam Poetry.
Ooh, I like that.
Brent Martin, Austin Lane, Brian Middleton here on a Thursday. NFL Combine continues. Now it gets fun. Everybody works out, talks. Not everybody works out. More people not working out. People just walking around Indianapolis, quite frankly. Did you see the Malik Willis thing?
That was really cool.
That was really neat, yeah.
Yeah. Gave some of his gear, right?
Yeah, gave somebody
someone in need.
Yeah, I don't know if it was a homeless person or if somebody was asking for some.
Yeah, it looked like somebody that was in need, and I don't think he even knew he was being recorded, obviously. But someone happened to was having lunch and saw a guy rocking a Combine outfit helping out this. I think it appears to be a homeless person, and Malik Willis was kind of going into a suitcase and giving out some clothes and stuff. So it was a really cool scene.
Really
there.
neat. You know what's funny is when you walk around, we were walking around obviously Monday and Tuesday in Indianapolis, and you see the guys like in their gear.
Yeah.
Like they're just because they're going from meeting to meeting. So even when they go outside the convention center and they go grab something to eat or wherever, and everybody's got like so we walked by. I think it was an Indiana tight end. I don't even know his name.
Okay.
And I think it was from Indiana. And so all we saw, it said like tight end 8 and Stuart will remember. It said something else, I thought.
Sure, yeah.
And so they're all labeled. Like their clothes obviously are labeled for when they do work out or when they go wherever. But it's just kind of funny.
It didn't say their name.
No, it didn't say their name.
I still have my stuff, too.
So
it doesn't fit me anymore, unfortunately.
We're walking down the street, and Stuart basically like, hey, that's so-and-so from Indiana.
Yeah,
he looked up like tight end number 8.
Brian, you want some Combine gear?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, it's like 3X because that's back when I was like 280 and it doesn't fit me anymore. Yeah, I'll bring it for you, man.
I look official around here.
Yeah, man, for sure.
You still have it.
I still have it.
Yeah, you wore it one time, right? So.
I had to wear it a couple times, bro. I was wearing it to the clubs and stuff. Like, yeah. I was in the combine. I was one of whatever 250 something. I think it was.
No, I don't think it was Freifogel, Glenn. I don't think it was him. Isn't he a receiver anyway? Or is he going out as tight end? I mean, I thought he was a receiver at Indiana, but it might not have been Indiana, to be honest with you. I forget what school it was for. Look up tight end 8, and you'll find that's who it was.
Yeah,
because I'm pretty sure it was 8. So it's a wild scene there.
Yeah.
And by the way, in Indianapolis, they also have like the Big Ten women's basketball tournament starting up this week. I mean, there's always something going on in Indianapolis.
Yeah,
but yet it feels like it's so quiet too. It's an odd thing in Indy. In regards to that, the Malik Willis thing, I think about this sometimes, and maybe it's because I've covered it for 20 years now. I've covered it really close, obviously here in Jacksonville in terms of the NFL, but covered a lot of pro sports and athletes, and even collegiate athletes. I feel like there are more. It's a good way to say this. I'm trying not to disrespect like a generation earlier. I feel like there are good. No. I mean, like even before that.
Okay.
I feel like there are more good people, athletes, than ever before. Meaning,
like good, like kind-hearted.
Yeah, like. And I think a sense of this is, I'm not saying like everybody else was jerks before, but as you're going through this, and the popularity of an athlete goes up and up and up and up. Like, I mean, you go back 50 years, sure, there's popularity of an athlete, but it wasn't like today's day and age where you got social media, the influence, all eyes on you, all of that stuff.
Sure.
And so I think there's, like, you could probably get away with being a jerk in some settings, right? I'm not sure if you can get away with anything anymore.
True.
And so I think these kids that are now 20, 21, 22, 23, whatever it is, have grown up in that, knowing that you might be recruited now coming out of 8th grade and 9th grade. So you're recruited earlier than before. There are coaches influencing you, telling you, hey, watch what you're doing on social media. Watch what you're doing in the classroom. Watch how you're acting in school. All this stuff can affect you, impact you. There's a lot of competition. And so what I think that has bred is an athlete that understands their place, matures quicker, and knows all eyes on them, and there's a responsibility of being a big-time athlete. And whether deep down they're all better people or not, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I feel like there are less knuckleheads. There's always going to be some. But I feel like there are less knuckleheads, even though we also live in a world that most people would say, anybody listening to this would be like, it's an entitled generation.
Yeah.
So it's a really interesting dynamic, and I don't know if I'm correct here. I'm just giving you like my feel that Malik Willis is not like this one-off guy. I think that's today's athlete. I think that's today's young man, that young woman. I think they know their place, their impact, and their influence on people.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's bigger than athletics. I just think it's definitely a generational thing. I mean, 2 examples that I like to go back to is probably 5 years ago, 6 years ago. I went to go talk to, at the time, a bunch of high schoolers at my former high school. And I kind of gave them just like a little, training camp pep talk and stuff, and got them motivated. And like talking to those guys in that locker room, I was like, wow, you guys really seem to have it together in terms of priorities, in terms of respect and all that stuff. Because I remember being in high school, not to say like I was a wild child by any means, but like, we all kind of had a crazier side to us. We're football players and we're a small town, so you find things to do for fun. You didn't get that sense with the kids that I talked to. And then when I went back for homecoming at Murray State a couple years ago, I had this conversation with one of my academic advisors, and we got into it. He's like, man, I remember your class. You guys were always out like after the game partying and stuff and having a good time. I'm like, well, yeah, man. Like, it was football was stressful, and you had to decompress a little bit, and we went out to the bars and everything. He's like, yeah, what's wild is kids don't really do that anymore. Like the bars at Murray State or they don't really go out anymore. They kind of just stay in and are kind of left to their own devices. So that was 2 examples to me that kind of showed that. I think with this up-and-coming generation now, these college kids and everything, like, number one, I think they're more self-aware than ever before. But number 2, receipts are everywhere. Like, what you do, what you say, can always be used against you, it seems like. And I didn't really have to worry about that back when, now, people in my class and stuff who do say things on the internet sometimes, it comes back, 10 years after the fact. But for the most part, we never worried about it at the time. I think now that's always on the minds of college kids, even high school kids alike.
Yeah, and if it's not on their mind, I think they're reminded about it. Mm-hmm. I know like those discussions take place. My kids are in high school, so they take place in our house. I think that, hey, people know or are watching or might see, and it doesn't always, mean it's going to work just because you say it either. You're always working on stuff. But I think even coaches, too, and they're like even travel ball coaches or camps that they go to, like this message is passed on and on and on and on. Yeah. And again, that doesn't mean like you're not going to slip up and everything's perfect. Trust me. But I think that message is issued more than ever before. And I think people have learned from a lot of different folks' mistakes from social media that people catch up on to 7 or 8 years later. Yeah. Right? Yep. And keep those receipts, as you mentioned, to just the idea that these young people now are living their life like basically in a reality show.
Yeah.
Everything they do is going to be eventually seen or caught or whatever.
No, for sure. But at the same time, too,
how many secrets?
No, there's not a lot of secrets at all. But I think like with any group, regardless of the age and regardless of the generation, there's going to be good people and bad people. I had Tim Tebow in my draft class. I also had Aaron Hernandez in my draft class.
That's a good point.
So I think while I think the majority now has shifted more towards kind-hearted, I think there's always going to be the latter,
So Aaron Hernandez was 2010 draft class?
Oh, yeah. I remember, I never talked to him, but I remember him because it was him and Gronk in that draft class.
I still think, if ESPN wants the 30 for 30, that's the one I would like to work on. The whole Tebow and Hernandez.
Oh, yeah.
At just the polar opposite from perception to reality to everything that was in the same locker room there at Florida. I find that to me could be the most fascinating if they could really get an in-depth look at it and people would talk about it. And someday I think that they'll be able to, but to me that is like,
and
in the middle of all that is even like together. Urban, right? Like
sure.
And Percy Harvin and
guys that spend a lot of time together.
Yeah, a lot of time.
It's the quarterback and the tight end. You're going to spend time together.
And by the way, don't sleep on the fact that Aaron Hernandez and Tom Brady.
Yeah.
This guy shared the locker room with two of the most popular figures of our sports life. Really?
Yeah. But, to me, it goes to show you, though, you got a job to do, and sometimes maybe that, because I remember, I think it was Danny Amendola told a story about Aaron Hernandez in the locker room, how Aaron Hernandez kind of threatened him. I think it was Amendola, if I'm not mistaken, but, they got a little altercation there. But it goes to show you, man, you got a job to do. You punch in the clock, and then, who you are outside of it is who you are outside of it.
And I think if you think about that, that's like that in any walk of life.
Of course. Because I think about it. The New England Patriots, who I feel like the gold standard is higher than any other team in the National Football League with Bill Belichick, right? So one would assume that regardless of how good Aaron Hernandez was as a football player, if he was messing up in the locker room, if he was messing up or had an attitude, he would have been exposed by Bill Belichick. Like, I don't care how good you are. If you mess up bad enough, Bill Belichick will let you go. I didn't think it was ever to that point with Aaron Hernandez.
No, but the one thing I always remember about that is the New England Patriots, the minute that came out, they cut him.
Oh, they cut him, yeah.
And usually people will wait, see how – no, that they knew – because teams hear stuff. And so whether they could find out, knew for a fact how long they knew, I don't know. But, they got word before everybody got word that, this is a big deal, right? There's no doubt. Because I remember that being, I can't believe how fast they got. He didn't even stand by him.
Yeah.
Those were big-time allegations at the time. Unbelievable. Aaron Hernandez, they did come out with something on Aaron Hernandez, didn't they? Didn't they just do?
Oh, yeah. There's been a couple of things.
Yeah.
I think ESPN had one.
Yeah, I think I watched one or half of those episodes.
There's a podcast that was pretty popular with him.
Yeah. All right, let's get Steven online real quick. Got a couple calls to get before the break. Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. Let's get back to the Combine talk. What's up, man?
Hey, how you guys doing today?
We are good.
I wanted to get your thoughts, because the big thing is how Ekwonu has climbed up the ropes with a lot of analysts. I even read something on Twitter. Somebody posted the comparison for him, and I'm sure Austin knows, is Jason Peters.
Yeah.
That's who he's compared to. And the difference between the two that I'm hearing is Ekwonu is really an extremely aggressive. Like his finish is perfect. He'll power bomb you, whatever wrestling term you want to use, and kind of laugh at you. Like he really wants to go into the game and hurt you, to where Neal's more the tactician, if you will. So, I mean, Austin, in your opinion, like what's the pros and cons of like the difference between those two, besides maybe Neal being about 3 inches taller than Ekwonu?
So are you talking about more from a mindset standpoint?
Well, that, and I guess overall technique, what are the pros and cons of being overly aggressive or just a straight-off technician?
Okay, great question. So, see, it's funny because you're asking me, because I'm going to answer this as the football player that I knew when I was in the game. And the scheme in the realm has changed now. Because back in the day, you wanted your right tackles to be aggressive road graders, bad attitudes. Like Evan Britton, I always tell the story. I mean, Evan Britton, we got in fights every single day because of his mentality. The left tackle is a little more athletic, and a little more calculated. Now, that game has changed because the right tackle is just as important as the left tackle. So if you're asking me, like, where would it benefit? I think of a team like the Tennessee Titans, where they try to beat you at the line of scrimmage. I think the Baltimore Ravens is another classic example of trying to beat you at the line of scrimmage. Of the past, it was the Buffalo Bills, but now they've kind of transgressed to a little more finesse with Josh Allen. But basically, I think the benefits of being that road grader type is you're obviously going to set a tempo. You're going to set a precedent. You're going to set an attitude for your offensive line, which I still believe in you have to have. The downside of that is when you play with that much intensity, when you play, with your head down, as, a position coach would say, is that sometimes you're overly aggressive. And when you're overly aggressive, that's when the mistakes happen. And you don't want to be overly aggressive when you're on a pass set and you're going against a guy like, like Von Miller or Rashawn Gary, whoever, TJ Watt, whoever the defensive end is, because that's where you get your quarterback hurt. Right? So from a mentality, from an attitude, from a run blocking standpoint, that's what you want. I think of the best guy I ever went against in terms of left tackle, right tackle, and to me that's Joe Thomas. If you know Joe Thomas, he is anything but an a-hole to play against. He never pushed you after the whistle. He was the definition of a tactician. But in doing so, it made it almost impossible to rush against him because you never knew what was coming. He would change up his sets. He would change up his hand placement. He would punch you early. He would punch you late. Like, you never knew what Joe Thomas was going to give you because he was a cerebral assassin. And I think, like, if you want to talk about the greats nowadays, I think you have to be more of a cerebral assassin than a guy that just relies on emotion and being a road grader. Now, if you're a combination of those two things, well, then now you're cooking with something, right? And some of those guys are. I think Tristan Wirfs is a prime example of a guy who has a little bit of both. But if you're asking me what I would go with one above the other, I'm taking being a tactician all day.
Interesting. I would say this. The thing that I like about both these guys that are highly rated is, first of all, if you check out the stats, and you can dominate the college level, it's good. But especially a guy like Neal, he has a ton of experience. I think it's 41 games for him.
Yeah.
And that's against everybody's best shot, against really good teams. Look what he did against Georgia, I think, in the SEC championship game it was. That's a heck of a tape to put on, I believe. So Ekwonu, to me, doesn't have as much of that in Neal, and I think that will hurt him. So you got to project a little bit more. I mean, he's got good stuff, but I'm just not sure he's going to – you're playing at Alabama against – top teams all the time, getting everybody's best. And I think when you play, I think it was like 41 games, I said, that's a lot on tape. That's something to buy into. That's pretty concrete. Like if you're making a number one pick and you're making a high investment, like I feel like I'm buying into that a little bit more, especially if guys are similar. Not to say there's experience with Ekwonu too. And I think the athleticism for both, as big as those guys are, is paramount and what's got them, in some respects, the two best players in the draft. Mm-hmm. So I'm not sure the Jags could miss on those two guys.
Yeah.
They might be able to take either one, whatever one they think fits. Mm-hmm. But I just feel like with Walker Little in play here, I feel like Neal fits because of his ability to play the right side too.
Yeah, you're right. But, like, is it hard to justify taking a number one overall pick and put him at right tackle?
I don't know, but we would say that, but then this is where I don't mind the Jags thinking outside the box and coming right back with Tristan Wirfs and what a difference he made. Tristan Wirfs being number one or number 11 in that draft, you would buy either one.
But they had a left tackle already for there when Tristan Wirfs was going there.
Well, I think if they move him to right, they think they have a left tackle in Walker Little.
But we don't know.
No, that's fair.
Because the sample size says nothing.
Yeah.
I mean,
and if he's not, then they move him back. Then they move him. So they have flexibility at that point.
Yeah.
I think Austin, like people have thrown out guard. That's not in play here. But I think they might believe that Neal can play both at a Pro Bowl level. Neal? Yeah.
No.
I'm saying right tackle or left tackle.
Oh, yeah.
No,
okay,
you throw guard
No,
out
we're
of the
not.
mix.
No.
But left tackle, right tackle, I think they might feel like he can play both positions at a Pro Bowl level.
Yeah. I just need him to play the one
that he's great at.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I know that's like the catch. To me, that's the catch on all this stuff with the offensive line. And where does Walker Little fit in there, in my opinion? We'll be back. Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690.
Here at ESPN 690, Brent and Austin have become addicted to sports cards.
Jamar Chase, season's greetings, autograph, 2 of 3. I'm banging. Bang. Tony Montana. Tony Montana. Bang.
That was our best moment.
Dude,
that was our moment.
Join the addiction weekdays from 3 to 6 right here on ESPN 690.
Hi, it's Rick. I'm at the Smith home. Where's Donnie?
Leaves and autumn bookings pile up for Rick's gutter cleaning service.
He's out? Come on.
He needs help before his bottom line gets clogged.
Okay, well, what about Cristiano? We still got 6 houses today.
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Instant Match instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
CSX Transportation is an industry leader on the move. The railroad company has immediate openings for freight train conductors. Join the CSX team and start your paid-on-the-job training today, earning nearly $25 per hour with no degree required. If you're safety-focused with a passion for great service, you've got what it takes to move your career forward at CSX. Apply at csx.com/careers. That's csx.com/careers. CSX is an equal opportunity employer.
Life can be shattered in a moment. When that happens, you need a big law firm to fight for you. We're America's largest injury law firm, Morgan & Morgan. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
You're the one everyone looks to for answers. Come rain or shine, the job must get done, and you're the one who makes it happen. We get you, Jackie in Fresno, putting your employee safety first. And Manny in Chattanooga, whose local Grainger team knows him by name. We're here for you and all the ones who get it done, with 24/7 customer support and access to product specialists to help you find what you need. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hi, I'm Pauline Savigny, owner of Grace Aerospace and a hyper-connected mentoring graduate of the Jacksonville Women's Business Center. Being a member of Jax Chamber and involved with JWBC has provided me with many great new relationships. Success doesn't come without strong support, and the people of JWBC have provided exactly that. JWBC furthers my confidence in that deliverance by providing a strong group of women business leaders to connect with, learn from, and lean on. For more information, visit jaxchamberfoundation.org.
Competitors and fans can try free samples of Celsius Essential Energy at the Gate River Run this Saturday. Celsius aims to inspire those who want to live fit by providing a sustained energy source that's specially formulated to work with your body to help you reach your goals. Try delicious sugar-free flavors like mango passion fruit, tropical vibe, and grape rush. Stop by the Celsius Essential Energy booth at the finish line for free samples. Celsius Essential Energy. Live fit.
Visit your First Coast Acura dealers for jaw-dropping deals on new and pre-owned Acura models. Get insanely low lease payments and huge financing deals on award-winning luxury sedans and SUVs. Now's the time. Shop FirstCoastAcuraDealers.com.
Just be laid back. Community First makes smarter borrowing simple, so you can relax, knowing your loan fits your life and your budget. Apply at justbeyourself.com. Community First Credit Union. Just be yourself. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Lender.
The COVID-19 vaccine. There's so much news about it, but what's true and what's not? Before you pass on its protection, get all the facts. Elder Source can help with a free workshop given at your church or organization. Learn how the vaccine works, potential side effects, and where you can get a free one. Encourage your church or organization's leadership to book a free workshop by visiting myeldersource.org/COVID.
If you've been involved in a car accident, call me, Mark Anajar, at the law offices of Anajar and Levine at 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. And take back control of your life.
Office in Jacksonville.
You could save big when you bundle your home and auto with Progressive, but when we just come out and say it, it feels like it falls a bit flat. So we're going to use humor. But we don't want to insult your intelligence, so nothing too goofy. And we need to avoid any polarizing topics. Oh, and it has to be about how you can save big when you bundle your home and auto with Progressive. You know what? Maybe humor is a bad idea. Yeah, it's never going to work. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Discount not available in all states or situations.
Hey, it's Brent Mortno from Action Sports Jax. Did you know you can watch our radio show? Yeah, video of a radio show. Just search ESPN 690 Jax on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Or follow me on Twitter at Brent A.S. Jax. Watch the show live weekdays from 3 p.m. until 6 p.m. or listen on ESPN 690.
There's a different technique, basically you have to just the same thing, just on the other side. That's the way I look at it. The plays are the same, the footwork's the same, the body mechanics of it all, opposed to kicking with your left foot, you kick them with your right foot, opposed to taking your first step with your inside foot, you may take your first step with your outside foot. So it's really pretty much the same thing in my opinion. You may go against the best pass rushers on the left side because most guys line up their best pass rusher on that side, but other than that, for me, for how I process it, tackle's pretty much tackle. Yeah, I felt pretty comfortable at both, but for sure, I definitely like left tackle, definitely.
You like left tackle better?
Yeah, and I feel like the fact that I moved around in Alabama so much, I never really had a chance to really just settle in on a spot for sure, so I'd be excited to do that on the next level.
Yeah, he did a pretty good job not settling in. That's Evan Neal. I tell you, it's nice though when a guy's comfortable like that. To be able to, and he made it seem like, hey, I could do either one, right?
But he's not going to lie and say, well, no, I'm a left tackle only.
Yeah.
Like, no one's going to say that.
Yeah, but he didn't look like he was dancing around it either. And then he did finish with, hey, I'd like to settle into one, and I like the left side better.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
That's where the money's at. Of course you do.
Yeah.
I respect that.
There's big money. Again, the right tackle has increased in value.
Yeah, but ask Orlando Brown about that.
Yeah. Still a difference. Oh, listen, guys like J.J.
I think
Watt
it's like
changed the
$5 million
game.
or something.
Right?
Yeah.
Because they're going to move around, and you need them on the right. And so... Yeah. It'll be interesting. I'm fascinated in how that part plays out potentially with the Jacksonville Jaguars. All right, it's our first ever back breaking, neck aching, 904 Chiropractic and Injury Center play of the week. And I'm going to your Badgers for it.
Okay.
All right.
Bank's always open.
Yeah, how about it? Man. The bank's open for Chucky Hepburn.
Yes.
And so Chucky beats Purdue, who I think is very good.
Yeah.
Wisconsin didn't realize was creeping into that top 12.
Oh, they're good, Brent.
The other night, they went on the bank shot by Chucky. And how about this? Big Ten champs for Wisconsin after all the stuff with Michigan. And this is the day and age we're in now.
Okay.
And I actually think this is cool. Hepburn has memorialized the shot with shirts in his name, image, and likeness deal with something called the Player's Trunk. And it's dubbed the Chucky Special. So you can buy the shirt for $29.99, and sweatshirts are available for $49.99, which you might need in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
I mean, isn't that great stuff? Like, you guys going to make money off his moment. Boom, just like that.
You absolutely should. That's the power of the free market. I love it.
That is pretty cool. That is our back-breaking, neck-aching play of the week. Neck-aching and back-breaking for Purdue. Wisconsin ends up getting it done. You can get it done at 904 Chiropractic and Injury Center as well. I got an adjustment there just last week. Go see Rhett and the folks over there. Really nice people. Massage therapy. It doesn't matter where you are in town. 904 Chiropractic and Injury Center is near you on the south side, in St. Augustine as well, and the newest location on the west side. If you've had personal injury due to an accident, look up 904chiro.com. It's 904chiro.com. They will take care of you, injury prevention as well. And that gets us into March Madness for a moment. Because I'm thinking to myself, I'm watching that game. Mm-hmm. Providence lost to Villanova, and my Friars are doing really well. Mm-hmm. But they lost by two close games to Villanova. Providence plays like a close game every night.
Sure.
And I just can't help but think of some of the games that I watched over the last couple months. And I'm not going to tell you I was locked in, but some of the teams that are out there. I mean, UCLA has now dipped into the teens, like 15, 16, 17, somewhere like that in the rankings. I feel like this is going to be a heck of a tournament, man.
Yes.
I feel like this is a wide open, no dominant team. Everybody has vulnerabilities, but a lot of teams have the abilities to win the whole thing. This could be a fantastic NCAA tournament now that we've hit March.
Yeah, I agree with you. You know, I mean, Gonzaga still looks like they're pretty dominant. Because, like I always say, if you have one of the best players in the country or the best player in the country, you should go far. You should at least go to a Sweet 16.
Doesn't always work that way.
Doesn't always work like that, but usually that's the way. And you have Auburn and Gonzaga, who arguably have the best players in the country, so they make a lot of sense. But you're right. I mean, a lot of storylines. Duke, it's kind of the last dance for Coach Krzyzewski. Can they make a run at it? They're doing pretty well this year. And then you kind of have your dark horses like a Providence, like a Murray State,
like Wisconsin.
Like Wisconsin. So I'm excited for March Madness, man. I can't wait. Houston's actually really good too.
I mean, listen, I really do like Purdue. I think Purdue's a really good team.
Yeah,
and I've watched them a couple of times, and I mean, we've had crazy upsets. It looks like Florida State won't make the tournament. They got a big win. They have to run the table. Florida is probably going to sneak in. I don't really think they're that good. The SEC is deeper than they usually are.
Yeah,
they have Arkansas is getting hot right now, or has the last couple of weeks. There's a lot of storylines in college basketball, which are always storylines, but I'm not sure there's this depth of. Seriously, might be 15, 16 teams that you could make the case could make a run.
No, you're not lying.
They've had Providence on the 4 line at times this year.
Yep.
And, I mean, on the 4 line, I think Providence is a little bit overrated, to be honest with you, because they won a lot of close games.
Yep.
But they still have 3 losses all year.
It's impressive.
And they were on the 4 line.
It's impressive.
I think they're now on the 3 line, so we'll see.
You got 2 more weeks to get on that KJ Williams bandwagon before I close that thing down and we leave the station. So if you all want the KJ Williams bandwagon of Murray State, get on him now, because it's not going to be like another John Morant where he has a bunch of highlights. People want to be John Morant fans. I told you about him last year. All right, so get on the bandwagon if you want it.
By the way, we're a couple weeks away from the bracket coming out. You can play against us, and you can play against everybody, and there's big prize on the line, so make sure you tune into ESPN 690 and on ESPN690.com. We're going to have a lot of fun with the brackets this year, but you got to enter and get ready for it and sign up and be a part of it each and every day as we get closer and closer to the NCAA tournament. Let's take a break. 4 o'clock hour coming up. We're going to go talk a little high school hoops with a local legend who's now got his team in a state championship game. It's on the way on ESPN 690.
This is Robert Palmer, president of RP Funding. With home values at an all-time high, it's a great time to turn your home equity into cash and get a closing cost credit from RP Funding. Call 855-773-8634.
Terms and conditions apply. We must 7168 equal housing.
Tobacco-free Florida knows how hard it is to quit nicotine, which is why we offer different quit options to choose from for free, like 24/7 quit coaches available over the phone and free 2-week starter kits of quit aids. We're even experimenting with 80s pop music.
I'm giving you up, giving you up, giving you up. I'm letting you never come back to smoke. I'll never come back to smoke. I'll never come back. I'm giving you up.
Or maybe we'll just stick to the ways we know work. Visit tobaccofreeflorida.com or call 1-877-YOU-CAN-NOW for free nicotine patches.
You're on your way to work, and then, bam, your whole life changes in that second. Forever. You're injured, and now you have to fight for justice or live your life in pain. Morgan & Morgan. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Do you know why you see so much camera footage of crimes? Wasn't the camera supposed to deter the crime in the first place? That's because they weren't Safe Touch cameras. You don't want to see someone breaking into your car. You want to see it before it happens. That's what Safe Touch cameras do. They alert you via text or video notification beforehand, giving you time to react to the situation. And Safe Touch cameras have 24/7 video storage in the cloud, the safest and securest way to store important events that only you, the Safe Touch customer, control. And here's the best news yet. You can get the Safe Touch surveillance system with 3-color cameras, 24-hour recording, secure storage for as little as $39.95 per month, including 24/7 service, cloud storage, and camera warranty. Camera installation is additional charge. This system will work with any security system or no security system at all. Or bundle the 2-way communicator package for additional savings. Find out how you can get a free survey and demonstration at safetouch.com. State license number EF0000233.
Men, did you know that over half of all males suffer from ED or PE?
Ladies, your man should talk to the specialists at Prime Men's Medical Center.
If Viagra, Cialis, or Levitra have let you down,
Men are now lasting 30, 60, 90 minutes or longer, and it's affordable.
for a private consultation at Prime Men's Women's Medical Center. Call 904-664-8217.
See results on your first visit, guaranteed, or pay nothing.
Call 904-664-8217.
Don't paint, don't vinyl, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
North Florida is one of the golf capitals in America, and our customers get to spend a lot of time on the golf course because
they'll never have to paint their house again.
Rhino Shield is a superior alternative to paint and vinyl siding and is unlike any other paint or coating. It comes with a 25-year warranty, it's maintenance-free, and is guaranteed not to chip, peel, bubble, or crack.
Bottom line with Rhino Shield, you'll never have to paint again.
Book now to take advantage of our spring special, just in time for the tournament. Save up to 25% off, but hurry, book now because our installation schedule is filling up fast. Call Rhino Shield today, 904-519-5055, 904-519-5055, or find us online at rhinoshieldjax.com. That's rhinoshieldjax.com.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Nhra and Levine studios. Nhra and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690, Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station.
This is Sports.
I'm Kevin Winter. The Brooklyn Nets that just won a game above 500, 8th place in the Eastern Conference. Wasn't always like that. There was once upon a time, for a couple of days, the Nets had the best record in the East. Then they embarked on an 11-game losing streak. Kevin Durant went down with a knee injury. James Harden suffered a boo-boo as well, and then he decided he wanted to get traded, which he did. All of this happened in a remarkable span of less than 30 days. Harden's gone. Kyrie can only play home games. Finally, tonight, Kevin Durant will return. Nets play host to the Eastern Conference leading Miami Heat. Boston Celtics play the highlight machine known as Ja Morant. They host him at TD Garden tonight. Front half of the national television doubleheader. Back half is the Lakers and Clippers, and I have no idea why, because both teams stink. Washington Wizards guard Bradley Beal was asked this afternoon whether he's leaning on staying with the team this summer. Beal's response, it's fair. Beal has a $36.4 million player option for next season. Should he decline, he's eligible to sign a 5-year, $246 million max contract with Washington. Beal's season ended back in late January after he injured his wrist with season-ending surgery.
Brought to you by Capital One Shopping. Capital One Shopping instantly searches for available coupon codes and automatically applies them at checkout. Capital One Shopping. What's in your wallet? Savings and available coupons vary.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Nhra and Levine studios.
This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 with Brent Martineau and Austin Lane.
I was like, oh, well, because I already knew.
It's a waste of your time.
I already knew if I wasn't going one,
yeah,
I was going to two with the Jaguars because we had already did the deal. Way before, we had already basically did the deal with the Jags. The Jags and Coughlin was trying to get me to basically tick off the Jets to drop to them at 2.
Keyshawn Johnson sharing a little draft day stories.
Interesting.
That is interesting.
Yeah.
Going to go back and look at what that would look like. Brent Martineau, former Jags player Austin Lane. Any of those fifth-round dealings with you?
With what? Just trades?
Yeah.
Well, the story, man, they traded with Green Bay to get me earlier because there was a thought that I was going to go to Green Bay to play instead of Jacksonville. So Jacksonville traded a player with the Oakland Raiders, and then that moved them ahead of Green Bay.
Oh, that was the end of – was that the Quentin Gross?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Quentin Gross move.
Yeah.
Do you wish you played in Green Bay?
No.
Come on, say it.
No, not at all. And it's
you
funny
wouldn't be here today.
No, I wouldn't be here for sure.
You'd be at the pickle bartending.
I'd be at the. I don't know if I'd be bartending or not. Maybe, but no. I always said that I wouldn't have lasted even a year in the league if I would have played back home because it just the distractions.
You weren't mature enough.
Oh no, I would have been like, after practice I'd have been in the parking lot doing keg stands because my friends had all been out there like cheering me on, like he's a Green Bay Packer and let's do a keg. It wasn't a positive environment for me back then.
Yeah, so getting away is good.
Jacksonville couldn't be any farther away, I feel like, and it worked out for everybody.
That's very, very true.
Yeah.
Hey, let's welcome in our next guest, and a big congratulations to the Jackson Tigers going to the state championship game in boys hoops. They got the W this morning. We'll welcome in James Collins, head coach of the Jackson Tigers. Coach, congratulations. You've been knocking on this door. One more game away, man.
Thank you. Yeah, it was a tough one today. We didn't play particularly well, but we got the W.
Well, that says a lot about your team that you didn't have your A game and could still get the W, doesn't it?
Yeah, but that team played really well. We didn't shoot the ball particularly well, and our defense wasn't that good up front till the last maybe 5 minutes. So,
why do you think they were nervous? You think you just didn't play well? Can you put your finger on it?
We didn't play well in that 10 o'clock game.
Okay.
It's always tough my team has always had problems playing early.
That makes sense.
And then we couldn't. I think we were like 3 for 19 to start the ball game. Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah, shots just weren't falling. It looked like a lot were close, just wouldn't go down. But that's the game sometimes. How much does experience help now that you've kind of been here before, though, and these guys have played in big games? I don't know how veteran your team is, but you have been around it, and people around the program, they kind of know what the expectation is.
I think experience helps, but when you're in the state championship game, the players got to make plays. And if they don't, you end up losing. Right now, it's out of the coach's hand. I mean, you've seen everything during the year. You've been through. This is our 4th straight Final Four, third championship game in 4 years. So these guys have seen everything. You got to make plays. If you don't, you end up losing.
Coach, from a philosophy standpoint, I mean, do you treat this championship game like any other game, or do you kind of remind them like, hey, this is what we work for. This is the big one. Let's go out there and show them what we can do. Do you kind of add the pressure, or do you take the pressure away?
Well, I kind of add it and take it away. I let them know that this is a once in a lifetime opportunity, and not everybody get to experience this experience with being in this game. But also, it's just like any other game. It's just there's a lot more riding on it. So we talk about this. This is our ultimate goal every year, and we've been at this thing for 4 straight years, hoping this year that we close the deal.
What makes this team a little bit different? Maybe that you can do that. I mean, you talked about the early start and maybe didn't play that well, but 17-0 run, I think, at some point in that fourth quarter or in that second half, that shows maybe the experience. That's winning time, and you guys were able to do that. Is there kind of an it factor about this team? Maybe not to take anything away from the others, but maybe that can put you over the top.
Yeah, it is, but that's our calling card. Is what we do. We play defense, and that's what really ultimately won us this game to get us that 17-0 run. We wasn't, the mind can be ready to play, but the body is not ready. And this morning, the body didn't catch up till the last 6 minutes.
That does happen. Hey, I think so. There's a couple of things that are interesting here, and you confirm for me. Not an encyclopedia of the boys' basketball over the years, but 93 was when you took Jackson, right, as a player and won the state championship. By the way, I was just the funny thing, Coach, I was just talking to John Ozier the other day in Indianapolis at the NFL Combine where we brought up your name, and he covered you like all the time then. And, of course, I wasn't around then. I've been here since 2008. But I had to describe to all the new people in Jacksonville, like a local legend, James Collins, right? I mean, your kids that you're coaching right now, they got to probably Google you and look up all the articles about you and what you did in the high school days.
Yeah. I'm going to tell you something funny. In 93, we played, I think it was Mariana, we had the worst game of the season. We ended up losing by 2. No one could score but Michael Ross and Darrell Peterson. No one played good but those 2 guys. And it was like deja vu today for, I would say, 26 minutes. It was like deja vu of me being in that game all over again because we sucked for 26 minutes. And I'm like, oh, man, I know it, God, you're not going to do this to me again. And it wasn't for that run we had. I'm telling you, I thought we was back in 93 in the semifinal game again. And I said in the paper then, I said we had the worst game of the year. We won't have another game like this in the championship game. And need to say we end up winning by like 27. So I'm hoping that these are mirror teams that we end up winning by a large margin on Saturday.
That's awesome. Somewhere in that huddle today, you were looking for Micah Ross again, weren't you?
And guess who it was? It was Ronald Durham today.
Yeah.
It was Michael Swift and Ronald Durham won the game for us. Sophomore Ronald Durham came off the bench and scored 11 or 13 points. He was 4 for 6 from the floor. And I swear to you not, we had a sophomore, Darrell Peterson, it's the same way. And Mike Swift is a junior. Michael Ross was a junior.
Wow.
This is crazy. I'm telling you, like deja vu.
That's pretty cool symmetry there. And then another note, by the way, I think the last Duval State Championship public school in boys hoops, I think, goes back to 2004. And so do you feel a little bit of that? I mean, does that mean something to you guys, to this team, to this program, to maybe carry that and win the first one in, what would that be, some 18 years?
It means a lot. You have to think that these kids work all these years to be able to say they're a state champion. And you have to think about all the different schools in the state of Florida that will never get an opportunity to say that they were state champions or even play in this game. So it's a blessing to be able to be in this game. And we're just coming out and put our best foot forward on Saturday and try to come out with a victory.
Yeah, well, we hope you can do that. James Collins from Jackson High School with us on Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. Let me leave you with this. I think you've been over a decade now back at Jackson. We just did a lot with Coach Foy and the football team the last year. There's a lot of good things going on Main Street. You guys helped lead the way and kind of change that with the direction of the hoop program and build some momentum and confidence and everything on campus. But how different is it maybe than a handful of years ago, and how much momentum do you guys have over there at Jackson, both from an educational standpoint but also from an athletic standpoint, not just hoops?
Well, since I've been there, we've maintained over 3.0 or better GPA since I've been there in academics. They don't talk about it a lot. Pretty much all my seniors go to college, whether they're athletic scholarships or academics. Last year I had 5 seniors. They all went to school. 5 of them went on athletic scholarships. This year we'll have 6 that'll do the same. So these kids are working really hard on the floor and in the classroom. I've had maybe 50-something National Honor Society students in my 13, 14 years I've been there. And what we preach is the total person. We want them to be good people, good academics, good athletics. So we work really hard at it, and we'll continue to do that. And I'm really proud of the kids and the work they put in to put this program and the students they've become.
Well, you're doing a heck of a job. Keep up the good work on the court, of course, and with the success, but also making a big impact on a lot of kids' lives in Duval County. So good luck on Saturday, man. 12:30 game for the state championship. Hope you guys get it.
Thank you.
You bet.
Thanks for having me.
You bet. That's James Collins from Jackson High School. They win today 58-45, a late run, and got it done, and now they go on to the state championship game in boys basketball in 4A. And, again, trying to win for the first time since 2004. And I asked somebody this, and I wouldn't know the answer. Maybe somebody else will know the answer that's been around for a while in boys hoops and in the area. 1993, James Collins wins a state championship at Jackson. If he wins a state championship this year as a coach, I just can't imagine that's been done very often, especially at the same school, to win as a player and a coach. I mean, I'm not saying it hasn't been done. There's probably a lot of people go back to their alma maters. So, but especially in the public school ranks, I'm wondering if that's been done recently or around here or even in the state of Florida very often. So that'd be a pretty interesting thing to add on the resume as well.
Yeah, I wonder what's going to be more rewarding for him.
Yeah.
You know, being a player, I should have asked him that when I think of it now.
Well, I think you just heard him in that last part. You know, when you get 3.0 and you're graduating people, and
that's very impressive.
That sounds like that's what's more important to him than even raising a state championship banner. Which shows you the impact these guys have, and he's done it. He's been in both spots, drafted in the NBA, of course, played at Florida State. As many people do know. But I feel like a lot of times you got to remind folks, it's such a transient market that, you know, we've talked to James before on the show as he was in the Final Four and trying to win a state championship. But a lot of people in town just wouldn't know that a guy like James Collins, how big he was here. And I don't even know if I really don't have the true perspective of it. But big name back in the early 90s here in Jacksonville. And now leading the way for the Jackson Tigers. So good luck to them. Ponte Vedra, by the way, still in action in the Final Four. NFEI lost yesterday despite 44 points by one of their stars. And Bradford ends up going to the championship game in 1A. The Tornadoes got the win in boys hoops. So championship season winding down, and it's been a successful one. We talked a lot about the girls soccer programs last week, and now we've got some boys basketball teams trying to win state championships out there in Lakeland. Brent Martineau along with Austin Lane and Brian Middleton here on a Thursday edition of Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. A week from the Players' Championship, not even really a week from the Players' Championship. But the NFL Combine continues to take center stage. Are we missing a position at all for the Jacksonville Jaguars to be looking at, or is this simply offensive line and pass rusher at number one? The rest is going to fall into receivers mode. I know a lot of people have attention at tight end. I don't think the draft is going to be a tight end spot for the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think they're going to go to free agency there. And by the way, Trent Baalke talked about the room. They like the room that they have right now. Didn't say they wouldn't add to it, and it looks like they will add to it. But I think they're going to add to it with a veteran player because there are so many free agents out there. I mean, it really lines up like the Jags at the number one spot are going to take either an offensive lineman or a pass rusher. And then at 33, they're going to take a wide receiver. Like, that's the way I feel like the draft is going to unfold for them. Here we are almost 2 months out.
Yeah, I mean, I think so as well. If you do have the number one pick, you don't trade down. It's definitely going to be offensive lineman or edge rusher. You know, I mean, you know, I get, you know, you might want to go secondary, safety. You're
not going Kyle Hamilton, in other words.
It's not feasible.
You're not reaching for a wide receiver.
No, it's not feasible.
Anybody else come into play at 33, or do you think they really have to then target a wide receiver, or do we not notice do we know that answer yet because of free agency?
So let me ask you this. In this draft class right now, the way that you see it, who's the best wide receiver?
Oh, boy. You
just answered my question.
Yeah.
Right? Because there's not a bone. I mean, people can say Wilson, Burke, you know, I mean, even Jameson Williams, you know,
Jameson Williams coming off.
People
like London out of USC.
Yep. So, but you answered my point, though, where it's like we don't really know who the top guy is. Now, that's not to say, I mean, that hasn't panned out before. Like DK Metcalf wasn't necessarily the top guy, but he's one of the better ones now, obviously, in the NFL. So I'm not saying where, you know, the guy that's second or third taken is going to be, you know, the worst. He could be the best. But I'm just saying there is no bona fide, at least the way I look at it right now, top wide receiver. You know, like there's not you know, like a guy could be like the next Devonta Adams, or the guy could be like the next DeAndre Hopkins. You know what I mean?
There's no Jamar Chase.
Thank you. Exactly. Well put. There is no Jamar Chase right now.
Yeah.
So,
but a few years ago, remember it was like 9, 10, 11, somewhere in that mix. It was like the Jerry Judys and who else? But there were like three receivers taken in like a even CD Lamb was in that mix. And then you had Rager, then you had Justin Jefferson.
I don't think that was that year, but I think that was later.
I don't think it was that year. But the Jefferson year, you had 6 guys, I think, go between like pick number, let's call it 8 and 22.
Sure.
Something like that.
I just think
it could be that kind of draft.
No, I hear you. But if you're talking about the number one overall pick, I mean, is there a legit bona fide number one overall receiver. And I think you can make arguments for a couple of guys. So if you're having that conversation, then I don't think so.
Yeah, and I'm just trying to think where else could they surprise us. And, I mean, you're not going running back, right? You're not going quarterback. You're not going tight end. You're not going – I mean, we could add offensive lineman like a center or something. You're not doing that. Could you go interior defensive lineman? Is there somebody that sticks out? Jordan Davis feels
at the top. No,
not going number one.
No.
And so you're not going corner. You don't need that. You're not going Stingley or somebody. I mean, it really just doesn't jump out as a need for the Jags. They could add depth to their corners, but not. They don't need that.
You're going edge offensive line with the first pick of the draft, or you're trading down, and then I think that opens the possibility to wide receiver as well.
Wide receiver, or then a Kyle Hamilton or somebody like that saying he's the best player in the draft, if in your mind. See, that's the only thing I've floated out there. If you need blue chip players and you say Kyle Hamilton's the best player in the draft, we have the highest rated guy in our draft. See, I just don't think the Jags will allow themselves to talk themselves into that because you're not taking a safety number one, especially since you're kind of okay there right now.
Yeah, but Hamilton's going to go top 5. So more than likely. So if that's the case, though, I mean, for a team to trade up 2 or 3 or maybe 4 spots, like you get an extra second round. I mean, it's not going to be that much.
I mean, listen, I think it's clear as day. It's not going to be trading. Like, there's nothing to trade for.
Yeah.
Kenny Pickett's 8.5 size hands. No.
I mean, get off his hands, man. Leave that guy alone.
No, but seriously, I think we should just stop talking about trading. Like, we should go to this draft and be like, trading is not an option.
Yeah.
Because, you're not allowed to. There's a lock on the number 1 pick. Yeah. Like there was last year. One, because you didn't want to move out of Trevor Lawrence. But this year, you're not going to get anybody to move. There's not going to be a dance partner at number 1. You can talk all you want. You say open for business, all that stuff. But Trent Baalke knows it now. He's not getting a dance partner there.
I'm just saying you better leave Kenny Pickett alone with his hand size. Dude, if we would have had the show back when Tom Brady was running the 40-yard dash in the shuttle,
can you imagine?
We would have ripped him apart.
We would have.
And then how dumb would we have felt when he became the greatest quarterback of all time?
I'm not ripping.
So
I'm just saying if his hands were bigger, there was a chance somebody would trade up for him.
Okay.
Now there's no chance.
Okay.
So
I hope
we've got a deadbolt.
I hope he wins 10 Super Bowls now, man. Just to spite you.
The door is locked at number 1.
You think so?
Yeah, it's locked. There's no chance of a trade happening.
No chance?
No chance.
Oh, here comes. I can see another apology coming.
No chance.
You said the exact same thing, and now we're sitting here waiting for your apology with Trent Baalke. Do you want to do this again? Do you want to do this again?
Yes, I do.
So you're going to put everything on it?
Yes.
There is no chance the Jacksonville Jaguars will trade out of the number 1 spot.
That's it.
Okay.
I'll let you dump a bucket of mayonnaise over me.
Well, you still have a table to go through, sir.
Okay. Right. We'll be back. Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Today we'll have plenty of sunshine and warm temperatures again, but comfortable humidity, highs in the low 80s. Clear and cool tonight down to 49 and partly sunny tomorrow. Your Friday high in the mid to upper 70s. I'm TV meteorologist Mike Burrish. Join me today beginning at 5 p.m. on CBS 47 and Fox 30 Action News Jax.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beard's Diamonds. A half carat to 10. Beard's Diamonds has the lowest prices guaranteed.
Smoked for hours, served in minutes. Now that sounds like good barbecue. And it is at Willie Jewell's Old School Barbecue. Open 7 days a week. Try the smoked wings, southern sides, and big old platters. Trivia night and kids eat free specials during the week. Check out the Willie Jewell's app and catering for all events. Order online and skip the line. Visit williejewells.com to see other locations in Florida and Georgia. Yulee to St. Augustine, Brunswick, and Kingsland. Willie Jewell's Old School Barbecue. Smoked for hours, served in minutes at Willie Jewell's.
The Amalie Motor Oil NHRA Gator Nationals is headed back to Gainesville Raceway, March 10th through 13th. It's the year of the racer, featuring new teams and new alliances. 8 new teams join the NHRA Camping World Drag Racing Series for what is sure to be the most intense season in history. Don't miss the debut of Tony Stewart Racing with Leah Pruitt and Matt Hagan, the return of Tony Schumacher, and new team owners Antron Brown and Ron Capps. Kids 12 and under are free. Get tickets early and save at NHRA.com.
Hey, does your car still only play CDs? No Bluetooth? No CarPlay? You've got an old car, my friend. You know what's better than an old car? A less old car. Get a car or truck that's new to you with a great used car loan from 1-to-1 Financial, Jacksonville's hometown credit union. Get pre-approved for a loan and shop at any dealership in town. Get a low rate and get rid of that old car today. Apply online at 1to1fcu.org. Federally insured by NCUA.
Celsius is energizing Gate River Run competitors and fans with a variety of delicious, sugar-free flavors. Grab a free sample at the Gate River Run and stop by the Celsius Essential Energy booth at the finish line for more sampling. Celsius Essential Energy. Live fit.
Visit your First Coast Acura dealers for jaw-dropping deals on new and pre-owned Acura models. Get insanely low lease payments and huge financing deals on award-winning luxury sedans and SUVs. Now's the time. Shop FirstCoastAcuraDealers.com.
The right time for the best water is right now. CGC Water Treatment wants to make sure your family's water is clean, healthy, and tastes great. CGC Water's done that for my family for a handful of years now, and it all starts with a Connecticut system. American-made and installed by the pros at CGC Water Treatment. Contact CGC Water Treatment now for your free water test. Connecticut systems remove up to 99% of contaminants. Remember, if you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Don't be the filter. Connecticut makes the world's most efficient softeners, twin-tank, non-electric systems that use less salt and water during regeneration. Right now, save up to $600 on select system packages. Financing available with approved credit. Just call CGC Water at 904-552-1242 and ask about the Conway Club, the new service program that will save you money on salt, filters, delivery, parts, and labor. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. Proud partners of the Jacksonville Jaguars and your local independent Connecticut dealer.
Florida children are eligible for head-to-toe coverage through the Florida Kid Care Program, which is high-quality, affordable health and dental coverage with cost as low as $15 a month. To assist families applying for Florida Kid Care or Medicaid and increase enrollment in the Florida Kid Care Program, the Players Center for Child Health with Wolfson Children's Hospital offers free application assistance. For appointments, call 904-202-WELL. That's 904-202-9355. Habla Español.
Great news from Rocket Mortgage. You could unlock more cash than you realize from your home's equity with a cash-out refinance today. In fact, in the last year, average home values have gone up nearly 20%. That means you could unlock thousands of dollars. And with Rocket Mortgage, you could unlock all that cash in less than 3 weeks. But you've got to act right now before rates go up, because nobody knows how long these low rates will last. Put your hard-earned money to work. Make your life better. Build a home office. Remodel your kitchen. Or simply save that cash for a rainy day. Today's rate on a 30-year fixed-rate mortgage is 3.25%, 3.48% APR, so you can lock in a great low monthly payment. When you're looking to unlock the cash in your home, Rocket can. Call 833-8ROCKET today or go to rocketmortgage.com to get started. That's 833-8ROCKET or go to rocketmortgage.com. Rocket.
Rates current as of 12/12/21. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender licensed in all 50 states. NMLSconsumeraccess.org number 3030. Call 800-490-1233 for disclosures and cost information.
Ready for a new ride but not sure where to start? Meet the tool that makes car shopping and financing easier. With Capital One Auto Navigator, you can find a car and get pre-qualified instantly. You'll get your real rate and monthly payment without even impacting your credit score. It's so simple, you might feel like you're taking the easy way out. That's because you are. Capital One. What's in your wallet? Terms and conditions apply. Find out more at CapitalOne.com/Auto Navigator.
Hi, this is Joe Cordell with the law firm Cordell & Cordell. When the prospect of divorce becomes a reality, you need a partner that you can count on. If you're a man in this situation, consider contacting Cordell & Cordell. We've helped men navigate complex legal matters for 30 years.
Contact Cordell & Cordell to schedule an appointment with one of our firm's Jacksonville area attorneys. Offices in Jacksonville and by appointment only in Ponte Vedra Beach. Online at CordellCordell.com. Lisa Cargis, Florida resident partner. Joseph Cordell, licensed in Missouri and Illinois only.
Join ESPN 690 on March 5th for the Gate River Run. Registration for the 15K, 5K for charity, Junior River Run, and the Brooks Rehabilitation Mile Challenge is now open at GateRiverRun.com. Training information is available on the website. See you at the starting.
Career went on. I believe we only had 4 lost fumbles this past season, guys. So you're going to want to look at the tape. Hand size measurement is part of the discussion, but there's other factors to it as well. And I think so much is made of it. You know, like when you do someone's height, sometimes they're taller in the morning than they are at night. So certainly everyone's going to talk about the magical 9-inch hands, but he's a good player. He'll be a good player for a long time in the league.
That's your guy, Mike Tannenbaum.
So he's going to be horrible. Great.
I don't understand all the disdain for Tannenbaum.
Because he called the Jacksonville Jaguars the Golden State Warriors.
He might be right. He's not alone. plus 1,100 to plus 750 yesterday.
Yeah.
And then I saw something else today. The most likely team to follow in Cincinnati's footsteps, the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Okay,
7 teams to watch, the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Okay, here's the thing, and I saw that too, like teams to make the most improvement. Could you be any worse than last year? No, honestly.
Well,
I mean, could
we asked that the year prior.
Okay, well, yeah, but we were cheering for that. Could it be worse than last year? I highly doubt it.
I don't know, but my buddy Mike DeRocco said last time I told him, I said, Mike, it can't get any worse. He's like, it can always get worse. I said, Mike, it can't get any worse. And then we had the coaching search.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I'm going to go on a limb here and say it's not going to be as bad as last year.
Well, listen, I would take that too.
Oh, okay, well, I'm saying because the bar is pretty low is what I'm getting at.
But you can't just be like 2 games better for this in terms of improvement. They're banking. They're saying,
I'll take it. Hey, I'll take 2 games right now. I'll take 5. 5 the first year for Doug Peterson. Good looking offense. I don't know, man. I mean, listen, I had the high expectations of Urban Meyer, okay, and I made that mistake one too many times. I'm done doing that. If you get me realistically, if you get me 6 wins, parade.
I feel like the last time
Circle of Honor or the Ring of Honor.
The last time the Jags were this like sexy as like a bounce back or improvement kind of team. However sexy you can be at like maybe getting 7 or 8 wins, I think is what they're talking about.
Okay. Yeah.
It felt like 2016. Remember 16 was the year people started to say that, they got some good players on that defense.
Yeah.
Maybe they take a step this year. Keep an eye on the Jacksonville Jaguars. And then it was 17 where it all happened, of course, and 16 didn't. But
well, and then see, it reminds me too then of 18 when everyone's like, I'm going to go on a limb here.
Well,
but I think the Jacksonville Jaguars are going to be a Super Bowl. No, but I'm saying in terms of the hype though, in terms of like
but
the
that
expectation.
was at least legit hype coming off an AFC championship.
Well, I know, but then what happened there?
I know. I'm just saying that was
well, no.
There was evidence there at least.
No, I hear the evidence. I'm just saying. I don't like when people want to call it like the sexy thing is the Jacksonville Jaguars this year because it doesn't always.
Doesn't usually work.
No,
I guess that's a good point. The last 2 times,
every national analyst I'm going to go out on a limb here, but I think the 2018 Jacksonville Jaguars might. Oh, really? Because we went to the AFC Championship game in 17. So really, way to think out of a limb. They should have went to the Super Bowl. Yeah. So as far as I'm concerned, just keep the Jaguars out of your mouth if you're in the national media and just let them be successful eventually.
So what would seriously be a big improvement?
I think 6 wins.
Like, you think that's satisfying? 6 wins?
I'm not saying it's satisfying, but it's a big improvement. I mean, like you're going to be satisfied going 6-11.
Well,
no,
I know,
doesn't look good.
Well, but if we're sitting here and they go 6-11, would you be like, hey, I saw some stuff that's they can maybe flip that to 10-7 the next year.
I think so. You'd have to
so you'd
see
be almost satisfied, not satisfied, but you'd be like, okay, I can sign up for what Doug's doing, what Trevor's doing. Is that enough? I mean, has Trevor shown enough if he's only winning 6 games, or does he have to win even more games?
No, I think 6 games it's an improvement. All I need from this team right now is an improvement. All right, I got to start being a realist again, and I got to stop being I can't think of sunshine and rainbows. I think if you win 6 games, it's improvement. Assuming Trevor looks a lot better, I wouldn't be the most mad at that. I guess if you're playing in close, meaningful games. Like, what do you think? Like, what do you want to see from this team to say, all right, this is working?
Well, I really do think the Jaguars, if they are going to spend, okay, and if they have Trevor and they're developing him and he's taking a step in where we want to see this, and if last year was such a dysfunctional mess that it probably cost you a game or 2 in the NFL just from being prepared, I actually think you got to get more to like a 7 or 8 win kind of year, because what that would do to me is, and by the way, I think it's important how it comes. Like, I don't think you can be, let's do the math quick, 3-10, 13 weeks in toward around Thanksgiving or early December, and then win your last 4 and get me excited at 7-10. Now, I'd probably still be pretty excited that they won their last 4 games in 7-10.
I would be excited as opposed to like winning the first 4 games and going on a losing streak.
That's true. But I think the thing for me, Austin, is there's so many teams now go to the postseason. You got 14 teams. You don't even have to have a winning record to be in the mix. And so I would like by early December to be like maybe in the hunt graphic, even if it's deep down and a long shot. Like maybe I think the way the thing is set up now, that the Jags being 6-8 with 3 games to go, and you get the idea that, hey, if they win the last 3 games, they might get in. And even if they don't and they go 1-2 and it feels disappointing, well, I think that's like a win. Like I think to feel that would be good. So
I feel for you, Brent. I mean,
6-8. If they end up 6-11, I'd probably feel different. But if they were 6-8, get to your 6 wins, right?
Okay.
But then add one more and go 1-2 down the stretch because they played a couple good teams, or maybe it was injuries or whatever. 7-10. Then I think again I feel better about it. You should almost every team should now be in the mix in late November, early December, the way this thing's set up, in my opinion. And the Jags just haven't even sniffed that for the most part. So I think that would be a win to me. But I also think it's a feasible, reasonable expectation when you have all this money, you have a nucleus that's been pretty young and you've drafted them, and you're also going to have some pretty high draft picks again, and you have a coach that's supposed to know how to win in the NFL. So
I feel for you, man. Brent, I feel for you, dude. You know, I really feel for you because you get your hopes up, you know.
You get my hopes up at 7-10?
Yes.
7-10, that's like a 4-game improvement.
Hey, man, where have you been the past 5 years? What team have you watched the past 5 years? You mean to tell me that 7-10 isn't a miracle in this team right now? What have you been watching?
Jags went +7 from 16 to 17.
Okay. Brent, I'm just saying, if they win 6 games, I'll be happy. That's me. You can hope for 7, 8 games, hope they go to the playoffs. That's your sunshine and rainbows talking. My question to you is, what have you been watching the past couple of years?
Man, you've dreamed big.
No, not this team. No, because I've gone down that road. I was optimistic about Urban Meyer, and I got burned. I'm not getting burned again. This is realist Austin from now on. I'm not getting any more sunshine and rainbow bandwagons. No, this is the real talk, Austin. And I think if you win 6 games this season, this up-and-coming season, I'll be impressed.
No, I wouldn't be.
Okay, cool, man.
Middleton, where you at, man? How many wins do you need out of this team to feel pretty decent? Like, okay, it's a step in the right direction. We do this
every single. I think they're going to be good this year. Like,
no, we don't.
Come on, man. We did it last year.
I said 6 wins last year.
We did it last year.
I said 6 wins.
Said Urban Meyer is going to be a top 5 quarterback in the NFL in a couple of years. How's that panning out?
Coach.
I'm sorry. Yeah,
that did not work out.
Okay, then.
Well, he might, but it's not for the Jags.
Yes, I don't think so. I think that ship has sailed.
Maybe he's on like one of the top 5 coaching staffs.
Go ahead and give it to us, Brian. No, for sure. Go ahead and give it to us, Brian. What do you think? Jaguars going to Super Bowl? What do you got, man?
AFC Championship game.
Yeah, there it is. You know, might as well.
In all seriousness,
LeBron's
though,
leading the parade.
There we go. In all seriousness, though, 5 wins for what's gone down the past couple of seasons, especially.
Preach.
I think you have to take that as a win. I was
God,
one of the few people who said.
Sorry, Brian, go ahead.
I was one of the few people who said, and I argue with Casey about this on OT all the time. I'm like, listen, the Jags won 1 game last year. You got 3. Mm-hmm. I know it was terrible all the way through, but you're 300% better than you were last year record-wise.
Thank you.
Take the wins where you can get them, man. So 5, if they get 7, that's like the Super Bowl right now. Because that is such a big improvement from where they at and all the dysfunction that they've had. So
Brian's on fire.
5's the number for me right
Brian's
now.
on fire. Brian's killing it.
How much is Trevor Lawrence growth and development, and if he takes a step, and I'm not saying he takes a Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson year 2 MVP step, I'm saying if he takes like a step in the progression, how many wins is that worth in itself? Is that worth a win or 2?
Here's the issue. I know what you're trying to do. You're trying to compare this to Cincinnati Bengals, and it's not even close.
No, that's what everybody else is doing. Comparing them to the Cincinnati Bengals would be like they're going to win the division, they're going to make a playoff run. I'm not trying to do that.
Okay.
All I'm trying to say is, can they be in the mix in early December? And I think 5 wins and 6 wins is too low of a bar to say I'm happy. Like, that's a step. Like, that's not a step.
We don't know what Trevor is.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm at. Like, I think he's going to take a step. That's worth a game or 2. I think the dysfunction's worth a game. I think adding ETN and draft picks and free agents could be worth a game or 2.
Okay.
Get to 7, like a 4-game. They won 3 games in all this mess. It felt almost worse than the year prior when they won 1.
Mm-hmm.
And they won 3. And they lost to the Houston Texans twice, of all teams. I mean, I don't see why this. I think the reasonable expectation for this team is to be at least 6-8 in early December and win 7 games overall. And honestly, I don't even think 8 wins is out of the question. I'm not going to get into a winning record, but I think 8 wins is not out of the question.
So let me ask you this right now: where they sit right now as a roster, where does this team rank in terms of a roster? I don't mean about the coaching, the culture. As a roster right now, where is this team at?
It's pretty bad. It's in the bottom 5.
Okay.
Now they do get ETN back. I hope he makes a difference. But yeah, as it sits right now, you got to hope they make. I don't
go off hope, man. I'm going off facts right now.
Well, they have him though that they didn't have last year, so they have somebody on offense.
Sure,
that can be a weapon.
No, we don't know what he's going to be. But,
no, we don't.
Okay,
but I'm just saying that improves your roster having ETN on it rather than on the sideline than it was all of last year. And again, man, if they're going to spend now. If they're not going to spend and they're going to couch it for another couple of years, then maybe I'll be on board with you guys. But if they're going to spend money and go get a couple of blue chip guys, like I think they might, and then you add some draft picks and then you get some growth out of your guys that you're already invested in, seriously,
Brett,
a 4-game improvement is not
you
that.
You answer the question. Where do they rank right now in terms
I
of?
already did. You missed the answer. I said bottom 5.
I'm saying where? Where exactly in the NFL? Like 28, 29, 31, worst
31,
team?
30, 29, 28, 28.
Just give me a number, 28. Okay. So then what do they have to do to move up 5 spots? You think if they add 3 free agents and they draft well, they're going to do that?
Yes.
Now, when have they drafted well? With Trent Baalke?
We've had 1 year of Trent Baalke.
But I'm saying Trent Baalke's history. When has he drafted well?
Back in 2012.
Okay. 1 out of what seasons? So, no, my question is, how confident are you in the draft?
I think they're going to get a good player at 1.
Okay.
And I think they'll get a good player at 33.
Okay.
That will help them.
Okay. And then in free agency, how many guys are they getting in?
2.
So those 2 guys and those 3 guys are going to obviously start right away.
2 guys and 2 guys.
And they're going to start right away. The free agents will.
Yep.
And the draft picks will. And that's going to propel them from a roster that was 28, 29, and now it's going to be like 24, 23.
I add ETN, and then I add Step from Trevor Lawrence. And yes.
Okay.
It's going to add them to, they're going to be the end of it. They're going to be the 20th best roster.
Okay.
And they're going to be 7 and 10. And maybe even 8 and 9. I don't think you guys set the bar too low.
I don't think you've been watching this team the past couple of years.
We'll be back. Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. I don't like either one of you guys.
What's up? It's Casey. Check out the podcast Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 wherever you get your podcast to make sure you don't miss moments like this.
Where did you have a new nickname around this place?
Sure do, Brent. Because you know
how do you like it? Nicknames are good sometimes.
Yeah. Well, so you know, like how when it's your birthday coming up, which it's my birthday month or whatever, like they kind of give you a little heads up. And I appreciate all the work that they do and everything. But when they say November birthdays and it's Austin Lane and this must be Thanksgiving themed, AKA free range hot buns. you guys like that? Is that good for you?
Just be in control. With free interest checking and great digital tools, Community First makes smarter banking simple. Add an account at justbeyourself.com. Community First Credit Union. Just be yourself. Federally insured by NCUA.
Tobacco-Free Florida knows how hard it is to quit nicotine, which is why we offer different quit options to choose from for free, like 24/7 quit coaches available over the phone and free 2-week starter kits of quit aids. We're even experimenting with 80s pop music. I'm giving you up, giving you up, giving you up, I'm letting you never come back to stone. I'll never come back, never come back to stone. I'll never come back. I'm giving you up. Or maybe we'll just stick to the ways we know work. Visit tobaccofreeflorida.com or call 1-877-YOU-CAN-NOW for free nicotine patches.
Men, did you know that over half of all males suffer from ED or PE? Both of these conditions are highly treatable.
Ladies, if your man is suffering from ED or PE, he should talk to the specialists at Prime Men's Medical Center.
If you're not the man you used to be in the bedroom because of ED or PE, the specialists at Prime Men's Medical Center offer custom-blended medications.
There's no pain or surgery. If you have diabetes, high blood pressure, or prostate issues, not a problem.
If Viagra, Cialis, or Levitra have let you down,
Men are now lasting 30, 60, 90 minutes or longer. And best of all, it's affordable.
for a private consultation with our highly skilled physicians at Prime Men's Medical Center, call 904-664-8217.
That's 904-664-8217. You'll see results on your first visit, guaranteed, or your consultation is free.
Call Prime Men's Medical Center at 904-664-8217.
Forever Vets Pet Resort at Durban is officially open. Whether you're looking to board your pet during a vacation or looking for a place for them to play during the day, look no further. Forever Vets Pet Resort has officially opened its doors with roomy, climate-controlled indoor play areas for big and small dogs, shaded outdoor play areas with a splash zone, and private cat condos including access to a cat tree-filled oasis. Your pet will feel right at home. Forever Vets Pet Resort will provide a comfortable place for your pets while you're away and ensure your four-legged friend is safe and happy during their stay. Take advantage of a free day of play to all new clients. And if you purchase one night of boarding, you'll receive half off your next night. Want to learn more? Give us a call or go to forevervets.com. You can also stop by for a free facility tour. We're open 7 days a week with extended hours for your convenience. Forever Vets Pet Resort at Durban is now open for reservations.
Every day, K9 units put their lives on the line to protect our communities. You can show your support for them by purchasing a new K9's United license plate. Proceeds will fund essential equipment and training to K9 units across Florida. Please pre-order your tag today at k9united.org.
In a world where a single touch can threaten the surfaces of your home, there's Microban 24. Just one spray fights bacteria all day.
Bacteria incoming. Shields up, defenders.
When used as directed, Microban 24 sanitizing spray forms a defensive shield that keeps killing 99.9% of bacteria for up to 24 hours. Touch after touch.
Threat eliminated.
Microban 24. Don't just sanitize it, Microban it. Now spraying in a store near you.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
You're the one everyone looks to for answers. Come rain or shine, the job must get done, and you're the one who makes it happen. We get you, Jackie in Fresno, putting your employee safety first. And Manny in Chattanooga, whose local Granger team knows him by name. We're here for you and all the ones who get it done, with 24/7 customer support and access to product specialists to help you find what you need. Call, click Granger.com, or just stop by. Granger, for the ones who get it done.
Action Sports Jax. Watch, listen, subscribe. You can watch us on CBS 47 and Fox 30. You can listen right here on ESPN 690. And you can subscribe to our YouTube and podcast, Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. Action Sports Jax. Watch, listen, subscribe.
It's Holiday, driving in, floats it off the window and good! With 1.9 seconds to go, the Bucks have taken the 1-point lead. Here's the three-quarter court shot. It's no good! The Bucks have scaled the mountain. Drew Holiday with the game winner.
Oh, yeah.
We just had to get Austin in a better mood.
Bring it on. Oh, I'm in a good mood, man. I'm not in a good mood about the 76ers, though. Hey, James Harden, calm down. They're good. You've been watching them? They're good.
I saw Kuz say, I know, first of all, first impressions of the whole Sixers thing has been very good.
Yeah.
But Kuz said the only thing you could give them a little grief about is they haven't really played anybody yet.
Yeah, but that doesn't matter, though, man.
It just looks good, right?
Well, I was questioning the chemistry of a James Harden and an Embiid. How's that going to work? Because they're two alphas, and it's working like you wouldn't believe in the first 3 games I've watched them play. So, yeah, 76ers are going to be a team to beat, I think, now in the East as well, which is unfortunate because that makes it harder for the Bucks.
Are they, like, better than the Bucks with James Harden?
No. I mean, it's still too early to tell.
Okay.
You know, I mean, just because you played in 3 games doesn't mean you've figured everything out. But I'd say the Sixers are off to a great start.
How good are your Bucks?
Hard to tell, too, because they're not healthy. I mean, they've been with Brook Lopez. They haven't had Connaughton or Brook Lopez pretty much the entire season, who are 2 big contributing guys. I think if they can be healthy, if they can come back 100%, they're as good as anybody in the league. But there's a lot of good teams out there right now. The Bulls are great. Miami Heat playing very well. Celtics, Boston's starting to make a run a little bit. So
I was a little surprised.
It's interesting.
They have Jason Tatum?
Yeah, I think they have Jason Tatum.
I was surprised at that when I watched that Bucks game. That he was able to get to the basket so easily there on that last drive. I mean, it was like hardly any friction.
Yeah,
it was still a good shot to finish. But
great shot to finish. Yes.
I'm reading tweets, and I just got a little fired up over this in the break.
Okay.
Apparently, like Maryland is chasing after Rick Pitino.
Yeah.
I kind of forgot about Rick Pitino, but he's at Iona.
As did I.
And he's done a good job. And Pitino, actually, now I'm looking it up, he tweeted. Who does this? He tweeted, the University of Maryland is one of the premier institutions of higher learning. Its basketball program could be among the nation's best. I hope they find the next great Gary Williams. I love coaching at Iona, and I'm totally committed to my players. It will not be me. So I guess
there you go.
I didn't know that, but I guess it was heating up to the point that he had to do that.
Yeah.
But hey, Maryland, why? Like, why?
It's a name.
Does Maryland need a name? I mean, maybe they do.
When has Maryland been relevant in college basketball? The past decade.
They had a mess like with the last guy, with Turgeon or something, I think.
Yeah.
And, I mean, to your point, I don't pay attention to Maryland basketball very much. But Gary Williams probably was the last time. I actually thought Pitino was older. He's 69. I thought he was even older than that. And listen, I think Pitino's a really good coach. I mean, I love Pitino from my Providence time. That has waned over the years, given all the things. But always have a soft spot in the heart for former PC Fryer head coach. 1987 took him to the Final Four. Providence was rocking. Now Ed Cooley's got him rocking again like that. But I look at this situation, I'm like, are you telling me there's not enough good coaches out there, young up-and-coming coaches out there, people that don't come with the baggage Pitino comes with out there? And if you're in it for the long haul in Maryland, or you're in it for just like a 2-year, 3-year thing, I mean, how much longer is Pitino going to coach? So it's just like, to me, that was crazy that Maryland was even interested in him, at least to that degree that he had to come out and say something. I've heard actually they're interested in, somebody said interested in Ed Cooley, the Providence coach. That makes some sense. But I was a little surprised by Pitino's name. I didn't think Pitino would ever get back into the ACC, Big Ten, like one of those schools. He's at Iona. The MAC is pretty good. They like their basketball there.
Yeah.
But to me, that's like a safe place. It's far away. It's kind of like nobody's really talking about you day in, day out on the national scene. And maybe you can get away with stuff there at Iona, or maybe he's learned his lessons. But I just didn't think he'd even get a chance at the that was surprising to see that, I guess.
Yeah, see, to me, I mean, I'm not as surprised because I think Maryland's always been a program that's really underachieved in terms of expectations. And when you talk about college basketball, you need one of two things. Either you need great recruiting classes or you need a great system. Maryland doesn't really have a great system. And the recruiting classes, I mean, I think they're 9th or 10th in the Big Ten. I mean, Pitino's obviously number one in his conference. What conference are they even in again? I can't remember.
The MAC.
The MAC, yeah. I mean, he's number one in the MAC in terms of recruiting.
MAAC.
There you go. So I think when you have a school like Maryland who, doesn't really knock your socks off in any terms of a category, you do need some lifeblood. You do need an injection of something else. And I think they thought maybe Pitino could be that guy.
Yeah. You're all right, though. I mean, you think about programs that are irrelevant, that used to be relevant, and Maryland kind of is up there now.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of another one.
And I'm not saying you need the look at Wisconsin. Wisconsin doesn't have the recruiting classes, but they have the system. Maryland doesn't have either.
Yeah.
So it makes it hard.
Yeah, and Maryland's had some turmoil and everything else, too. That's why when you have turmoil, though, you bring it in Pitino. I just question these ADs. Like, I get the win now, and people are mad, and the boosters. See, this is all driven by boosters. Like, go get somebody.
Sure.
Right? It's go get Pitino. I'm mad. I want to win right now. Who cares about what we look like? Who cares about 5 years down the road? If we win, it will solve everything. And that's where that stuff comes into play. But I don't know. If you have a vision at all, I just don't know how Rick Pitino could be kind of in your vision of building Maryland to what you think it can be or should be.
Well, let me ask you this. What would you say if Maryland went after Urban Meyer in football, college football? What happened if Maryland comes out and says we're interested in Urban Meyer? What would you think?
Probably different.
Really?
In one way, because, and I know they've had a couple of good years, Jimbo Cavanaugh, if you jump in on the Maryland thing, but Maryland football is really irrelevant and kind of has been irrelevant, and outside of a couple of little runs.
Sure.
So maybe that ignites it. And plus, again, Urban is a lot younger. So you could at least be in it for the long haul. Like, a little of this bothers me because you're basically renting Pitino for a couple of years and not building something.
But one would think you could have a lot longer longevity in basketball than you could coaching football.
Yeah, I mean, Krzyzewski and those guys.
Yeah.
But it's still, he's going to be 70. I mean, it's not like you're going to go on a 6 to 7, 8 to 10 year run with him. You could do that, essentially, with Urban. I'd probably still criticize it, though. I don't. See, Maryland basketball used to be a thing. Like, Gary Williams had him as a thing.
Yeah, but that was a long time ago.
Yeah, and so it was a good amount of time ago. Yeah. But, I can still remember it.
Okay.
What's like Maryland football? Like Lefty Drizel or something? Like,
yeah, I don't even know. But see, I just think that if you have the the reason I ask the question is this, because Urban Meyer has won at the collegiate level. So even though
Lefty Drizel's basketball, Maryland.
So Urban Meyer has won at the highest level in college. So I wouldn't be surprised if a couple of years teams are interested in him again, just because you can win. Rick Pitino has had a lot of success at the collegiate level. So I'm not surprised that regardless of the bad optics, a team would try to take a chance on him.
And I will say this about the difference between Urban. He's never been – there's no rule violation on Urban. Pitino comes with a whole investigation at Louisville.
No, for sure. There's a rule, but what's worse, a rule violation or a culture violation?
Well, that's fair enough, but I'm Pitino has both.
How do you? I mean, the culture, what?
Well, the culture. The whole Louisville thing was culture and NCAA involvement. It was a little bit of everything.
Okay.
So I got to go find a good. When was Maryland football good? Now it's going to bother me. I'm going to look it up.
Find out when Maryland basketball was good, too, because I don't remember it. Seriously.
At least you've heard of Gary Williams.
You
remember the little guy? No. You don't remember?
Mm-mm.
He's tiny. He's always I don't think he ever smiled.
Okay.
I seriously don't think he ever smiled.
Okay.
We'll be back. Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. Football at 5, including Maryland football success. Coming up next on ESPN 690, or lack thereof.
It's not easy being the one everyone counts on to keep the facility running, no matter the weather or supply chain hiccup. But we get you, Raymond in Buffalo, and Maria in Miami, Jules in Minneapolis, and Stan in Central Indiana, taking control of everything that's under your control. At Grainger, we're here for you with experienced branch staff at over 250 locations, so you get the product you're looking for. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The weather is getting better. The Players' Championship, Masters, and more majors are on the way. It's that time of year for golf fever. Play a lot of golf, just don't pay a lot for the golf. Order the 2022 Dream 18 card for just $69. Big discounts on golf all year. Golf courses have raised their rates. You can play for less. The Dream 18 card has even more value in 2022. Discounted rounds at some of the area's best golf courses. Golf Club at Southampton, St. John's Golf and Country Club, Hidden Hills, Osprey Cove, the Yards added this year, Amelia River Golf Club, Eagle Landing, Fleming Island Golf Club, and Queens Harbor as well. Plus, you'll receive free smoothie from Smoothie King, a free hat from Dome Hats, a free shirt at Baker Sports, and a discount on a purchase at Palm Beach Autographs. $69. That's it. Some of the proceeds go to the Dream 18 charities as well. Buy the card at Action Sports Jax, Dream18.com. Supplies are limited. Go to Action Sports Jax, Dream18.com to order the Dream 18 card, the best discount golf card at the best price in town.
Hey, does your car still only play CDs? No Bluetooth? No CarPlay? You got an old car, my friend. You know what's better than an old car? A less old car. Get a car or truck that's new to you with a great used car loan from 1-to-1 Financial, Jacksonville's hometown credit union. Get pre-approved for a loan and shop at any dealership in town. Get a low rate and get rid of that old car today. Apply online at 1to1fcu.org. Federally insured by NCUA.
The right time for the best water is right now. CGC Water Treatment wants to make sure your family's water is clean, healthy, and tastes great. CGC Water's done that for my family for a handful of years now, and it all starts with a Connecticut system. American-made and installed by the pros at CGC Water Treatment. Contact CGC Water Treatment now for your free water test. Connecticut systems remove up to 99% of contaminants. Remember, if you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Don't be the filter. Connecticut makes the world's most efficient softeners, twin-tank, non-electric systems that use less salt and water during regeneration. Right now, save up to $600 on select system packages. Financing available with approved credit. Just call CGC Water at 904-552-1242 and ask about the Conway Club, the new service program that will save you money on salt, filters, delivery, parts, and labor. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. Proud partners of the Jacksonville Jaguars and your local independent Connecticut dealer.
Do you want the best for your car? Then fill up with Premium at Circle K. Circle K Premium is our best fuel with double the cleaning detergent, protecting your engine from corrosion and damage so it can work at its best. And that, my friend, increases your mileage for more cha-ching in your pocket. Plus, when you fill up with Premium at Circle K, you can save up to 20 cents per gallon. Offer valid Thursdays or Fridays at participating stores. For details, visit CircleK.com. Circle K. How convenient.
With no fees or minimums and no overdraft fees, banking with Capital One is the easiest decision in the history of decisions. Even easier than choosing Charles Barkley in a pickup game.
We'll take Barkley.
Ha! First pick! Sorry, kids! Yep, even easier than that. With no fees or minimums and no overdraft fees, is it even a decision?
Okay, here's the plan. Pass me the ball every time.
This is banking reimagined. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank for details. Capital One and a member FDIC.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Nhra and Levine studios. Nhra and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station.
Sports Center. I'm Kevin Winter. Kevin Durant got to return to the court tonight after missing the last 21 games with a sprained MCL. He got hurt back on January 15th. Has been watching the Nets go through an absolute free fall ever since. Entering the night, the Nets sitting in 8th in the Eastern Conference. But tonight, KD set to make his return after making sure this was the right time to do so.
Obviously, I know I can go out there and help, but I don't want to hurt myself even more trying to go out there and you know, be a superhero, you know, just to be out there. But, you know, I'm glad that I was able to get some time to work on my body, and the training staff did a great job of, you know, working with me every day. And now I'm here to just see where I'm at after this game and just keep building.
Nets play host of the Eastern Conference leading Miami Heat. The Ukrainian Football Association has lodged a formal request to FIFA to postpone Ukraine's World Cup playoff semifinal game against Scotland, planned for March 24th because, well, you know, their country's being bombed and invaded by Russia. Ukraine was the runner-up to France. Group D's still to qualify for Qatar.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all of your car care needs. We're close, convenient, and known for our guaranteed everyday low prices and excellent customer service from professional parts people you can trust. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts today. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Nhra and Levine studios.
This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 with Brent Martineau and Austin Lane.
Yeah, it'll be my pass protection, 100%, especially watching film this year, evaluating myself. I definitely had, an issue oversetting guys and, opening my hips a little too soon. So that's something I definitely attacked while I was training in California. Just really working on my hip placement and my pass setting and making sure that my feet were right and I was staying square to the line of scrimmage. So I probably said my pass pro needs a little bit more refinement. Yeah, I told all the NFL coaches I've talked to, just watch my film, and I don't think you'll see anyone as dominant as me in this draft. I take pride in that. That's something I've always taken pride in, is being dominant and imposing my will in, defenses, all throughout my 3 years at NC State, and that's something that's not going to change when I hit the next level.
That's a Aquanu right there, huh?
It is.
I kind of like a guy named Dickey. I can't remember which one I saw, to be honest with you. I was watching, I think it was NFL Network, and I don't know if they were talking about Neil or Aquanu.
Okay.
But one of them, they were like, he's got a real nasty side of him that you got to reel in from time to time. Yeah. And I want to say it was Aquanu. And I kind of was like, I like that.
Yeah.
Like, you kind of like that. Like, I get what they're saying. Like, there's a temperament there that you got to be able to, you don't want personal fouls and stuff. But, hey, give me that rather than the not so nasty offensive lineman.
No, I mean, that's what I think, was Steven that called us in the first hour? Talking about would you rather be nasty or more cerebral. I think, if you have a good combination of both of them, man.
Yeah.
Because this is football. So there's got to be a little craziness, a little nastiness to you, or else what are you doing?
Yeah. That's why you brought up Joe Thomas, who wasn't a nasty guy, but he was would execute to perfection.
Absolutely.
So we're learning more about Maryland sports.
Yeah. This is a Maryland day.
We got on here. I saw a tweet about Rick Pitino in Maryland, and here we go.
Yeah.
I mean, down the rabbit hole.
Yep.
So the last time football was good, and this guy I do remember because Ralph Friedgen.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to go back to, he won 3 years in a row. I think it goes back to 2003, the last time they won double-digit games.
Mm-hmm.
And he did it 3 years in a row. Other than that, they've won like 9, like 2 other times since then. I mean, but they've never really been great at football. And Friedgen was good. Like, it was, I remember those years for him, but it wasn't great. Like, people don't know Maryland for football. They know more for basketball.
Best player to come out of Maryland for football.
Oh, geez.
Oh, come on, Brent. It's obvious.
It's obvious.
Yes. I would say so. I mean, he was considered one of the biggest freaks of all time, if I'm not mistaken. If I have my players right.
I'm thinking freaky players. I think Calvin Johnson, he's out of Georgia Tech.
Let me put it like this. He was a freak at a position that didn't have any freaks.
I know who it is.
Oh, you know who it is too, don't you, Brian? Let's go, Brian.
I know who it is.
I remember this dude, and I was like, okay, well, I want to be like him, but that's impossible.
Yeah.
Yes.
He was a freak at a position that doesn't have many freaks.
That, at the time, didn't have many freaks. Was kind of unheard of.
Can I give him a clue?
Give him a little clue, Brian.
Mike Singletary. He had a deal with Mike Singletary.
In San Fran?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, come on now.
I've been blanking on it.
Hey,
I should know.
Hang on. Do you want me to show you the freakish numbers real quick? Then you're going to get it then. Hold up. All right.
I'm not sure. I'm really, my mind's not going to the place it should play. I know what you're talking about with Singletary, but I can't place who else that SPAC was with.
Dude,
and then I
had this dude hanging up in my room on the ESPN, the magazine cover, I remember too. I don't think he even have the combine stuff that he did. You have to give me a second. It's someplace. No.
Where did Terrell Owens go to school?
I thought he was a smaller school guy?
Yeah, I think it was like Tennessee State or Tennessee
Chattanooga
or something like that.
I got it here. Okay, go ahead. Hit us with it.
Okay. He ran a 4.39 in the 40. Okay.
Hang on, Brian. Let me come back to reality. 4.39 in the combine.
Okay, bench press.
Yep.
33 reps. Vertical leap, 42 inches.
What? 42 inches?
What else do we want? Is that enough? I feel like that's enough right there.
What was the broad jump? Probably wasn't as good as mine.
128 inches.
Yeah, he had me beat there too.
That's the one you hopefully
I thought I had him. Nope, had me beat there too.
Let's see.
He's got to be a big dude then, because 4.39 wouldn't make you jump out of your seat.
Yeah.
254 pounds.
Dude had a physique.
Why am I blanking?
Oh, actually, so you can go two ways here with this answer, because you could say Sean Merriman as well, but we're not going Sean Merriman.
Oh, Merriman was a Maryland.
He's a Maryland Terp.
Yeah,
but yeah, this guy exceeded Sean Merriman.
I'm not even in the neighborhood of it. I'm not even close to getting it.
Okay.
Why can't I remember who I spat with Singletary? That's really what's bothering me.
I'm going to give you the biggest hint ever then. I'll give you the biggest hint. He was Kyle Pitts before there was a Kyle Pitts.
That's good.
And that's all you need.
Yeah, that's good.
And the prosecution rests. He was Kyle Pitts before Kyle Pitts.
Yeah, so you're going tight end, and now I can see him in Vernon
Davis.
Yeah.
Vernon Davis, there you go. 4.3.
So he had a 4.39.
Hey, Brian, what was the vertical again?
42.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So did Vernon Davis, let me go back now and look. Would you say Vernon Davis lived up to that?
No.
Or disappointed?
Oh, I'm sorry, Brent. If you got a 42-inch vertical, you better be... I don't know.
Vernon Davis.
You better be
580 catches, 7,500 yards, 63 touchdowns in his career, but not like all world. Enough.
Yeah. High school high jump champion, too. Of course he was. Why not? Also a member of a state 4x100
That's a good call, though, that you got him out of the Maryland.
Oh, yeah, man.
That was good.
I remember that. I remember him.
254 pounds.
I mean, that was like the
running a 4.39.
That was like the combine of all combines.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Man.
I was really more disappointed. I couldn't remember who. I remember the Singletary thing, and I couldn't remember Vernon Davis was at the front and center of it.
Yeah.
That was San Francisco's been a mess at times.
Yeah.
I know what you're going to say, people. I know what you're thinking.
Yep.
I know exactly what you're thinking.
Yep. Should have pocketed that one for later, but all right.
All right, so one more bit of Maryland history.
Yep.
No, seriously. Like we were talking.
I love this. I know.
Like they haven't been.
It's Maryland
So
Day.
Phrygian was the last time football was somewhat relevant.
Sure.
And I still think it's like somewhat relevant.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, in basketball, Gary Williams won a national title. I think you said it was 2002. And they were actually in the Final Four 2 straight years.
Yeah.
You know the star player for them? Juan Dixon.
Yeah.
At that time. Which I vaguely remember that team. They beat Indiana, you said, in 2002 to win the national title. Which
I thought Indiana was never good, but I'm kidding.
Since
back
Bobby
in the
Knight,
day,
yeah.
yeah.
But I know that wouldn't have been Bobby Knight in 2002. I don't think.
No,
he was long gone by then.
Because he had the Texas Tech stuff first, right? And then, he was no.
Yeah. So, but they have only made it to the Sweet 16 twice since then, 2003 and 2016. So now you know why they're clamoring for a guy like Pitino. Mm-hmm. They haven't won. I mean, if you don't make the Sweet 16 in Maryland basketball, like that's probably a failure of a season. And go back to 2002 since they won the national title, they haven't done it.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe they are desperate enough. That's how we all got started on this, by the way. Pitino from Iona interested in potential. They were interested in him, and I just didn't get it.
Mm-hmm.
But they're obviously tired of losing.
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea about the Maryland program and why it's gone wrong.
Yeah.
But they obviously – I don't know if the Band-Aid of Rick Pitino is enough to finish the thought on that. We should just take a random school every day.
I like that.
Although I'm not really sure that just went very well. Didn't go well for me.
No, you've had better. Meanwhile, I'm watching Vernon Davis combine footage right now.
Sick. Back when everybody worked out.
Yeah. Dudes weren't even wearing the dudes rocking in like running in shorts below their knees still. Like, didn't even care. I love it.
Football at 5 here. Brent Martineau along with Austin Lane. Brian Middleton. As we head back to the NFL Combine, is there going to be a freaky performance? Or have we seen it all? Is there such thing as a freaky performance anymore? You bring up Vernon Davis.
Yes.
Who was it? Mamula? Ended up getting drafted by the Bengals. The BC guy.
Okay.
Back in the day, he was like the poster child for it.
Okay.
And then DK Metcalf recently. We've seen Chris Johnson
Micah
run.
Parsons. But he wasn't at the combine, though. He ran us on the pro day. He was running downhill the whole time.
But Chris Johnson did it at the pro day. I think he ran in the 4.2s, 4.24 or something.
Yeah, yep.
Metcalf.
Metcalf.
Obviously put on a show there.
I think Patrick Willis did pretty well for himself, if I'm not mistaken.
So
Calvin Johnson.
But have we seen, my point being, have we seen the freaky to the point where what else can you do? Like, if there are a couple of guys here that they say are going to run in the 4.2s. Like, okay.
I like that.
Like, that's unbelievable.
I'll tune in.
But we've seen it.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
There's somebody who's going to bench 40-something times. That doesn't intrigue anybody.
No, if someone can go 60 times, I really don't care about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, and nobody does.
Yeah. Well, strength coaches care.
Well,
you know,
but I mean, it doesn't.
Get my hands on this guy.
Yeah, it's not like it's not a viral video, most likely. So what is it? Can we do anything? Can these guys do anything more? Like, have we seen such good athletes over the years that there no longer is that? Oh my goodness! Look what he just did.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, if you break the record of the 40-yard dash, that means something. But what you need now, because we've seen fast. Like, fast does nothing for us. We're so, we're so just desensitized on speed that it doesn't really matter to us anymore about how fast somebody is. But when you mix the combination of size and speed, well, then you got something there. And I can't remember the dude's name, but I remember a couple years ago, probably like 4 or 5 years ago. There's an offensive lineman that was like 300 pounds that ran a 4.8. I can't remember his name.
No,
but
I
remember
what
like he was like the talk of the town for a while.
And I do think that's what's impressed us
That's what
lately
it
is the
is.
offensive line. Like Evan Neal running a 4 whatever, if he were to do that.
I think now it's more of like the defensive tackles that are like 300 pounds, like kind of like a 4.8 we're kind of infatuated with. But like, Micah Parsons, great example. I mean, guy ran a 4.3, I believe, and he's 240, 250. So anytime you can mix the combination of speed and size, I think people will always celebrate that.
What was your favorite one to do? The broad jump you had the most success
Broad
in.
jump was my favorite.
So it was your favorite because you had the most success in it?
Correct. I enjoyed the vertical too. Vertical was fun because, former basketball player and stuff.
But you don't get tested on that stuff very often either, isn't that? I mean,
The vertical? No.
Like even in college, you're running 40s, I bet. Or in some workouts or whatever, you're running 40s.
Yeah,
but you're not doing vertical jumps very often, right?
No, but the vertical got me on the field goal block team. I was a leaper. So it got me something.
Really?
Yeah. I also cheated on it. I told the story before where back in the day when we had like our baggy, because baggy shorts were in. So we used to put our shorts over our knees. And then because here's how they do the vertical jump. They make you stand with like your shoulder to the side of the board and then measure just like your wingspan straight up, right? But they don't ever take into account like, well, is he kind of kneeling a little? They just say, okay, well, this is him standing up, and now let's see him jumping, and then they take the difference of that, and that's a vertical jump. So what we used to always do is we used to pull our shorts like a little lower, so that way our knees were covered up. So we would buy a couple inches because we were bending our knees, and they never noticed it. And then all of a sudden we take our shorts off to jump, we stand straight up, and now you buy yourself a couple inches. So that's what everybody was doing.
Everybody did it.
Oh yeah,
It wasn't just you.
no, it wasn't just me. Everybody was doing that.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
What position are you hoping has the most depth to it? And by that, I mean, if we think the Jacksonville Jaguars are going offensive lineman or pass rusher, is it the receiving group that you hope there are 15 really good players at receivers so you can get one at 33?
What does the 15th best receiver of a draft look like?
Well, I saw somebody, again, I was probably just listening or reading or whatever. I can't remember where I saw the information, but somebody said like 20, they think there are 25 receivers that could go in the first 4 rounds. Okay. So I understand what you're asking. You're saying what's the differentiation between 1 and 2 and then 23, 24, 25, right?
Correct.
I'm sure it's pretty different. It's pretty significant, but you can also find people at that position, especially that have popped even in later rounds. Like, it's always been a position that you can get later on. Cooper Kupp's the latest example of it, but there's also Justin Jefferson at 22.
But it was never a talent thing with Cooper Kupp. It was the competition that he went against.
Yeah,
you
true.
know?
There's that.
Because the guy, I think he was the finalist, or if he won it, the FBS Player of the Year, which is unheard of as a wide receiver because you depend on your quarterback to throw you the ball and everything.
But even Debo was a second-round guy.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
So there's at 33, I'm not going to go out to third round because I think that's a little bit more, okay, do you really know you can get a contributor right away? But if it's a deep draft at receiver, which every draft has been deep in the recent years because everybody's better at receiver and everybody's throwing the football and everybody's catching the football and 7-on-7s, like the receiver position continues to get deeper. And that's why the NFL now you have 3 guys that need to be good, not just one. So there's the domino effect there. The Jaguars will have a good receiver available at 33, most likely. A guy that can make an instant impact.
Yeah.
You got to hope you pick the right guy, but the depth of that, the more to choose from, makes your odds go up. And so that's why I think if you come out of this combine and maybe you go into it thinking, hey, there are like 8 receivers or 6 receivers with first-round grades, and you come out and you're like, hey, really, I think there are like 10 or 12. I think that could be really beneficial to the Jacksonville Jaguars because now you could really get a guy that might have been in other drafts picked at number 20.
True.
At 33.
Yeah, it all just, and keep in mind, Debo Samuel was the 3rd wide receiver taken though too. You know, if we're talking
top heavy.
No, if we're talking the 10th, I mean, see here's what I'm afraid of. I'm afraid that And here's the thing. I think depending how the draft plays out, I think you can get a bona fide guy in the second round easily. I think that's definitely going to happen. But I'm just saying when you start going with the 8th best receiver, the 9th best receiver, there's going to be some fall off there. And when there's some fall off there, you have to ask yourself, well, then what are you getting? Because the Jaguars need a 1. Okay? Like, you have some 2s. You have Marvin Jones. We'll see with DJ Chark. Like, I'm not worried about the 2s, but who's going to be the go-to guy? And I'm wondering if the go-to guy will be there if he's the 8th or 9th receiver taken.
Yeah. I think at 33 there is what I always wonder about in this predicament. Would the Jags be smarter jumping back in at 24 or even trading up to a 22 where I'm just going to use that. I know that's where Justin Jefferson was picked. So if they see a guy there and they're like, hey, you know what? I'm going up because I want that guy instead of, hey, I'm going to sit back and wait because I think these guys are good too. The Jags' MO has been to do that. I would love to see them go chase a guy that they really covet and then allow them to be right. If that's the case.
Yeah.
But, we kind of begged for this a little bit last year, or at least we painted the scenario. And we didn't know for sure Kyle Pitts was going to go number 4. But if you go back to like this time last year, there was some talk that he could maybe go 12. What if he slipped to 15? You really have no idea before. I mean, the mock drafts don't mean everything. And so that got everybody thinking, hey, should they trade back in? I wonder if that guy exists. One of the problems that exists with this receiving core, though, and this receiving group is a lot of these guys are coming off injury that are pretty highly touted, from the Londons to the Williams and others. So are you willing to go trade up for a guy like Williams who's coming off an ACL, even because he's slipping?
That's risky.
Because if Jameson Williams didn't get hurt, I think a lot of people would suspect he would be a top 10 pick, right?
Correct.
Well, so if you could get Jameson Williams and trade back in the first round at number 24, it seems like incredible value, even if he is coming off an ACL.
Yeah, but assuming he comes back 100%.
Yeah, but
that's the risk.
Isn't that a safe assumption in today's world? It's a trend.
At what position? Like coming off of an ACL as an offensive lineman is different than coming off an ACL as a wide receiver where you make your money with route running.
Yeah. Yeah, but those are the scenarios that I think are interesting to me. I think the Jags can easily get a wide receiver. By the way, I don't know what else they'd go for at 33. Like they went corner last year at 33, and I thought that was a little bit of a surprise.
Yeah.
Safety they're already invested in.
I mean, Peterson
could they go nickel corner?
I feel like you go tight end. I get it. Tight ends are in free agency, but Peterson loves his tight ends.
I will say, where else they could go, really, depending on the depth of it and where they're at, is defensive tackle.
Sure.
Because you could make the case, depending on what they do.
Dropped.
Well, he's not going to drop to that, but whatever they. And I know there are some people that haven't dropped that far. And I wonder why that is, but
well, the dude from A&M, everyone's all about.
So that's actually one that comes into play, because you could make the case that Jags need defensive tackle almost just as much as receiver.
Yeah.
An impact player there. But can you get that impact player at 33? That's another question. All right, we'll be back. Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. Football at 5 continues. A lot of combine talk this week.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Fair to partly cloudy, bit cool tonight as we drop into the upper 40s. It'll be partly sunny for your Friday. Cooler and breezy at the beaches where highs will be around 70, but reaching the upper 70s inland near and west of I-95. From the CBS 47 and Fox 30 Action News Jax First Alert Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beard's Diamonds. Before you buy a diamond anywhere, shop Beard's Diamonds.
Competitors and fans can try free samples of Celsius Essential Energy at the Gate River Run this Saturday. Celsius aims to inspire those who want to live fit by providing a sustained energy source that's specially formulated to work with your body to help you reach your goals. Try delicious sugar-free flavors like Mango Passion Fruit, Tropical Vibe, and Grape Rush. Stop by the Celsius Essential Energy booth at the finish line for free samples. Celsius Essential Energy. Live fit.
Now is the time to get an estimate on replacement windows. American Window Products of Jacksonville is a high-volume dealer offering a huge selection of products to keep your costs low. New windows from American Window Products can lower your energy costs and increase your curb appeal and security, all without breaking the bank. Call American Window Products for a free estimate at 904-667-0873 or visit AmericanWindowProducts.com.
Visit your First Coast Acura dealers for jaw-dropping deals on new and pre-owned Acura models. Get insanely low lease payments and huge financing deals on award-winning luxury sedans and SUVs. Now's the time. Shop FirstCoastAcuraDealers.com.
Quitting nicotine isn't easy, which is why Tobacco-Free Florida offers free tools and services like free 2-week starter kits of Quit Aids. We're also trying out music to help motivate smokers to quit.
Not another cigarette would be late. Now there's someone living tobacco-free. It's you.
Wow. Okay. Maybe we'll just stick to the ways we know work. Visit tobaccofreeflorida.com or call 1-877-YOU-CAN-NOW for free nicotine patches.
The weather is getting better. The Players' Championship, Masters, and more majors are on the way. It's that time of year for golf fever. Play a lot of golf. Just don't pay a lot for the golf. Order the 2022 Dream 18 card for just $69. Big discounts on golf all year. Golf courses have raised their rates. You can play for less. The Dream 18 card has even more value in 2022. Discounted rounds at some of the area's best golf courses. Golf Club at Southampton, St. John's Golf and Country Club, Hidden Hills, Osprey Cove, the Yards added this year, Amelia River Golf Club, Eagle Landing, Fleming Island Golf Club, and Queens Harbor as well. Plus, you'll receive free smoothie from Smoothie King, a free hat from Dome Hats, a free shirt at Baker Sports, and a discount on a purchase at Palm Beach Autographs. $69. That's it. Some of the proceeds go to the Dream 18 charities as well. Buy the card at Action Sports Jax, Dream18.com. Supplies are limited. Go to Action Sports Jax, Dream18.com to order the Dream 18 card, the best discount golf card at the best price in town.
Just be positive. Your Community First Mortgage champions make sure you get a great rate, a quick close, and can save you about $3,000 in closing costs. Apply at communityfirstfl.org. Community First Credit Union. Just be yourself. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Lender.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
More than 6 million Americans are living with Alzheimer's, with more than 11 million family members and friends serving as caregivers. The toll of the disease is monumental, and no one should face Alzheimer's or dementia by themselves. Free help is available 24/7. For resources and support, visit the Alzheimer's Association at alz.org or call the helpline at 800-272-3900. You are not alone.
Attorney Joe Cordell.
New school, new job, new home. Change is hard and can leave you feeling isolated. And divorce delivers one of life's hardest blows. The relationships you counted on are suddenly gone. But you don't have to walk through this alone. Call Cordell & Cordell. You're not alone.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Jacksonville area attorneys. Offices in Jacksonville and by appointment only in Ponte Vedra Beach. Lisa Cargis, Florida resident partner. Joseph Cordell, licensed in Missouri and Illinois only. CordellCordell.com.
If this season your business has flourished well above your staffing plan, you need Indeed. Because Indeed is the all-in-one hiring platform that makes it easier to attract, screen, and hire quality candidates from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
If cold candidate calls aren't turning into hot hiring leads, then you need Indeed. Because Indeed's powerful hiring platform makes it easy to attract, screen, and interview candidates all in one place. Find your next great hire visiting Indeed.com/credit.
Hey everybody, it's Brent Martineau from Action Sports Jax. There's a good chance you have a smart speaker, so use it with ESPN 690. Stay up to date on the Jags and all things sports by telling Alexa or Google to play ESPN 690. It's as easy as that. Make sure you listen weekdays 3 until 6 p.m. on ESPN 690.
So right now, you already said, we believe that Steve Keim, we believe that Cliff Kingsbury have done everything they need to do to be solidified going forward as a part of our future. So what about Kyler Murray? What about the quarterback that's changed your organization? What about the quarterback that won you 11 games this year or won you 9 games because Colt McCoy started 2, won you 9 games this year and put you in the playoffs? The guy that played at least early on in the season at an MVP level. Is Kyler Murray's demeanor, is Kyler Murray's personality, his character enough to keep you from extending him right now?
That is Ryan Clark. talking about the Kyler Murray situation. By the way, I just talking about who was going to be freaky at the combine. Jelani Woods ran a 4.61 40-yard dash. He's 6'7" and an 1/8 inch tall, marking the fastest 40-yard dash time by a tight end taller than 6'7" since 2003. Second fastest by any player taller than 6'7" over that span. Defensive lineman Margus Hunt had a 4.60 in 2013.
From Southern Methodist.
Wow, that's impressive.
Played in Cincinnati.
That's impressive. Mm-hmm. So there you go. There's your first freaky find of the NFL Combine. That should be a thing.
By the way, former shot putter, too, I believe, Margus Hunt. Look it up.
Really? Wow. Why do you know about you? Same agent or something?
No. Hey, I follow football, man. I follow the Combine.
I follow football.
I follow the Combine. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Brian, you know what Margus Hunt, man?
Who does it?
I know. That's what I'm saying.
Who does it?
Hard Knocks, you know? He's in Hard Knocks.
Big star of Hard Knocks.
Cincinnati.
I'm not a Hard Knocks.
See?
Loyal viewer.
You're doing yourself a disservice by not watching
I watched some.
You watched the Colts stuff, didn't you?
I watched when the Colts lost to the Jags.
I'm all set with that.
That was awesome.
I didn't really watch the in-season Hard Knocks.
I didn't either.
Yeah.
I saw the last one.
Yeah. Well, of course. We all did.
Yeah. Let's bring in Rick Riles right now. Captain Rick Riles for Sportsman Fishing Report. Yesterday it was worms. What do we have today?
We got more worms. Palua worm hatch is still going on. It is really putting a dent in the inshore guys. Now, it's funny, Brent, it's going on here in Jacksonville, and all of our guys are affected by it. I talked with Captain Robert Johnson down in St. Augustine. He had an inshore trip today. No sign of Palua worms, plenty of reds. They were all hungry. So I don't know how much longer it's going to go on, but our redfish are gorging on them, and the guys are just not getting them to bite much bait. Now, I was offered we had our legal limit of 21 bass. It was not nearly as easy as it has been. The bass may be starting to head back north as our water temperature warms up. A little better sea bass season than last year, not a whole lot better. I tell you what, the guys that are fishing this evening are going to have the advantage of a very low tide. The tide has been running extremely hard today, and I'm driving over the Dames Point right now, and there's a lot of areas exposed in Mill Cove that you don't normally see because the tide's so low. So, starts to pick up out of the northeast. We're probably going to be blown out this weekend, but one thing you can count on, we'll be back tomorrow afternoon to give you an update. Brought to you by CSS Landscaping and Workman's Quick Fix Plumbing. Thank you, boys.
Thanks, Captain Rick. Appreciate it. Drive safe. That's your Florida Sportsman Fishing Report. Each and every day, Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. And Saturday mornings, check out the show, 7 a.m. on ESPN 690. Margus Hunt, by the way, still playing. 114 career games, 8.5 sacks.
Still playing, huh?
Still playing. And you said Southern Methodist.
Hey, John Fox, but you didn't cut me. Okay.
SMU.
SMU,
right?
yeah. Southern Methodist. Yep, correct. Who was the cat that ran the fast 40?
That I just told you about?
Yeah.
The tight end, Jelani Woods.
Having some problems catching the ball, though. I'm watching it right now.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Stone hands.
Well, listen, I'm not sure he'll go for the Margus Hunt career. Although playing in the league for that long isn't bad.
That's super impressive.
Yeah.
No, I forgot the combines on. I'm watching the combine right now. We got tight ends, Brent. I'll be sure if I see anything, I'll let you know.
Tight ends are, listen.
Here's what I'm looking for, Brent. I'm looking for fluidity. I'm looking for good hands. I'm looking for more fluidity and smoothness, which is kind of like fluidity. How many? Because obviously the volume's not on right now. How many times are these experts saying fluidity?
Oh, probably.
Watch them.
Yeah. Catch radius.
Catch radius is good too.
Catch radius. Yeah. That's a good one though. I kind of like catch radius.
Yeah,
I could fall in love with that term.
What if you had to say one phrase or verbiage that should be out of the combine? What would you say?
Oh man,
sand in the pants has to go.
No, sand in the pants isn't bad.
That's horrible.
It's not bad.
No one has sand in their pants. What does that even mean?
Yeah, but it's a great visual.
No, we're good.
You know
it's not.
Yes, it is a great visual.
You're sagging with some sand in your pants?
Yeah, you know what I think? You know what I think of when I see
like you're wearing a diaper.
Yeah, it's exactly it.
It's
like when you're like little kids at the beach,
or an elderly person
their
rocking
diaper is like 80 pounds.
Yeah,
yeah,
or rocking like an elderly person rocking some Depends. No, it's not. It's gross.
Well, it is gross, but you don't want to have sand in your pants.
But how are you going to call a high-caliber athlete, oh, he's wearing a diaper? Like, no, that's stupid. Get sand in your pants out of here.
Listen, it's not meant to be a compliment.
Well, okay, so if you say he needs more sand in his pants, yeah, you need to have a bigger. I don't like it. You can just say he needs to be bigger. You know, just say he needs to be bigger. How does that sound? His lower body needs to be bigger.
I don't lock into the combine enough to be annoyed by a certain term.
Oh, you got start locking in, Brent. This is where Shocker Mock's born. You know.
Yeah.
Yep. Curtis Hodder's looking good from Arizona State.
Tell
that right now. Okay.
What do you like? You don't like sand in your
No,
pants?
get sand in your pants out of here. Looks like Tarzan, plays like Jane. That's another dumb one.
That's a dumb one.
I mean, fluidity, like, yeah, okay. I get it, but, overused. Likes to compete, can go home because I'm tired of that. Likes to compete. Kid likes to compete. He's a competitor. Yeah, no kidding. You're a football player. Like, come on.
You know what? I was thinking of this last night. We're going to get South Beach Gary on in a bit, but it's funny you bring that up. Likes to compete.
Yeah.
That is something I preach to my kids a lot, so I'm not going to say that.
Nope.
But the one catchphrase in life that I was thinking about the other day to that point is work hard. It's like every person that you've ever met that have made it to that level is like, oh, they work hard.
Yeah.
Like that is such a crutch thing, right?
Yeah.
Like, and here's the reason why. It's like, what does work hard mean? Everybody thinks they work hard. Now, I get it. I understand what it means. Like, it's a good trait, by the way. And it's great to be instilled in you and, be a blue-collar guy, all that stuff.
Yep.
But I can guarantee you that I could go to a lot of places and that person thinks that they work hard and they don't.
Sure.
Or at least my measure of working hard and theirs are two different things.
Exactly.
So that's why I think like that's a dumb. I don't know. I'm not saying you hear that a lot. I think it's a given fact that if you made it to this level to go to the combine, you're a hard worker.
Yeah.
But I heard it somewhere yesterday. I was like, you know what? Like somebody's got to throw that one away.
Yeah.
Because that's like a trait. That's like a trait that like that doesn't put you above everybody.
Well, you know what they said, Brent. Work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. Promise you, that's an 85% of every single high school and college weight room across the country right now.
I'm okay with a lot of those.
Someplace there's a high school coach listening to us right now. He's in the weight room. He's like,
yep, there
oh
it
yeah,
is. He's right.
Oh yeah, Austin, you're right. Absolutely. Yep, big bold letters. Yeah,
yeah,
Lane
but some
called
of those are okay.
Lane called it.
No, we had
one in our high school that said the weight room's not for everybody, but neither is playing time.
That's good.
Go and think about that one a little bit.
That's good.
Yeah.
Hey, let's get South Beach Gary in right now. What's up, South Beach Gary?
Hey, I love needing more sand in his pants. I love that.
I got tons of them for you, Gary. Just stay tuned.
A couple things. Brent, first of all, you were talking about athletes being kinder today. Well, I think social media has a lot to do with your perception of that, because you look at Jack Nicklaus and Arnold Palmer, there were no more two fan-friendly golfers than they were, and they were long of the past athlete because, you just didn't hear a lot of the stories because social media wasn't around.
That's a really good call. I think that's a good point, South Beach Gary. I think we do hear about it more. I think social media is a motivation for people to do the right thing a little bit more as well. But I think you're right. I think it's documented a little bit. But listen, if Arnold Palmer and Jack Nicklaus or name your athlete in yesteryear was doing something bad or kind of a jerk, you only heard that word of mouth too. Nowadays you hear it if that guy is, and you see it. So, but I think that's fair. I think that's a fair point. I think that I don't know if I'm right about that. I just feel like there's especially the younger and younger. See, I'm not sure in South Beach, Gary, what we were talking about earlier is like, is today's athlete just like a better person almost, than yesteryear. And that's a tough thing to, compare. Mm-hmm. And I don't know of a better way to say it, although that's probably not the right way to say it. But I guess what I mean is like at a younger and younger age, maybe where some people would be immature, I think kids are forced to grow up faster. Mm-hmm. It's always what impressed me about certain like big time athletes anyway. Even a guy like a Tebow, like the platform he had, the responsibility he had at his age, because everybody was looking to him whether he asked for it or not. And so you have to present yourself in a certain way. So I think that is a little bit different. Is South Beach Gary still on the line?
Yeah. And Austin, you were talking about the things you're getting tired of hearing of at the combine.
Yeah.
What about Trent Baalke? Now he's got Doug Peters saying, value. I want a value athlete. Well, I got news for him. If he wants somebody like CBS is predicting, Dalton Schultz and, Robinson coming here, they're going to have to pay for it. Value athlete. I mean, impact players cost money. You can take the value thing so far before you start hurting your football team.
All right, thanks, South Beach Gary. Appreciate it.
I just think it's in every prerequisite that a coach in a gym has to say value.
Maybe that's the one we should cancel.
Value?
No, but listen.
Listen,
I understand people don't like the value term, but the reality is it's a business term, and it is a term. It's a truism in sports. I mean, if you, especially in a draft, and really in free agency. I mean, if you look at what the Jags did last year, they got value out of a guy like Jamal Agnew. They got value out of a guy like Rudy Ford. I mean, those were good signings, especially for what those guys gave them. If Walker Little ends up being the tackle or a tackle or someone on this offensive line for the next 8 years, they got incredible value out of that second pick. I mean, like, I don't know if you can be in the business that they're in without preaching value, is my point. Like, they're just... That's what you do. That's what you have to do. Now, the question is, can you take a gamble once in a while, go outside the realm of dollars and cents, and say, I think this guy's worth it, even if the dollars and cents might be a little overblown? And that's what free agency is. And that's what I think Jags fans want to do more of, because you get stuck on value when you don't go get the 60, 70, $80 million guy, and that's what happened last year. They spent the biggest money on Rayshon Jenkins and Shaq Griffin, and again, they get value. I don't know, but it's hard to get value on an $80 or $90 million free agent, but you can. Calais Campbell gave you that.
I just think value is more focused on in the draft, and spending is more focused on, obviously, in free agency. And by the way, Brent, in case you didn't know, every morning in Africa, Gazelle wakes up. And on that day, he has to run faster than the lion or he will be eaten. And every morning in Africa, a lion wakes up. And on that day, he knows that he has to run faster than the gazelle or he will go hungry. At the end of the day, when the sun comes up, you better be running. What do you think about that one?
I think we're going to run to a break.
Because that was in the weight room.
Like a gazelle.
That one's in the weight room. I'm telling you another that's in the weight room.
Are you big on, would you rather have the old Coach Wooden Lombardi sayings or the animalistic sayings?
Ooh, what do you mean? Like, give me an animal. Like that one?
Like that? Because I kind of like looking at the picture of the lion rather than Vince.
Yeah, give me the animalistic stuff.
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah.
Be one with nature.
Give me Tyson. Give me Ali standing over his opponent. Give me visuals, but I don't need Vince Lombardi. Some gold guy with the glasses and a fedora. No one knows who that. If I was coaching high school, nobody knows who Vince Lombardi is. They know who Mike Tyson is.
Yeah, they do.
They'll be like, oh, look at his style. Nice coat.
By the way, Tyson kind of combines both worlds.
That's true.
Animalistic with.
That's true. But no, there's going to be no dudes rocking fedoras in my weight room if I was ever coaching. Tell you that right now.
We're building a weight room for Austin with sayings. We roll on football.
What should the Jaguars saying be? Let's talk about that next.
Just win 7. We'll be back on ESPN 690.
For the second season in a row, ESPN 690 is proud to be the official station of the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp. Starting in April, hear all Jumbo Shrimp games on ESPN 690, ESPN690.com, and our Facebook page, ESPN 690 Jax. No matter what happens with Major League Baseball, the Jumbo Shrimp season will start on April 5th. So if you can't make it out to the ballpark, we will have every game all season long right here on ESPN 690.
The Players is proud to support UF Health Jacksonville, Leon L. Haley, Jr., MD, Brain Wellness Program, which will provide transformative care to veterans experiencing the invisible wounds of war. It's 5 days until the Players.
Celsius is energizing Gate River Run competitors and fans with a variety of delicious sugar-free flavors. Grab a free sample at the Gate River Run and stop by the Celsius Essential Energy booth at the finish line for more sampling. Celsius Essential Energy. Live fit.
If you've been involved in a slip and fall accident and are not sure of your legal options, call the law offices of Nhra and Levine at 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000 and take back control of your life.
Office in Jacksonville.
Smoked for hours, served in minutes. Now that sounds like good barbecue, and it is at Willie Jewell's Old School Barbecue. Open 7 days a week. Try the smoked wings, southern sides, and big old platters. Trivia night and kids eat free specials during the week. Check out the Willie Jewell's app and catering for all events. Order online and skip the line. Visit williejewels.com to see other locations in Florida and Georgia, Yulee to St. Augustine, Brunswick and Kingsland. Willie Jewell's Old School Barbecue. Smoked for hours, served in minutes at Willie Jewell's.
The Big Ten is up, and you know what that means. Get ready, get set, go to Arlington Toyota for the Ready, Set, Go event going on now. Leave it to our friends over at Arlington to have over 500 new Toyotas available with inventory arriving daily. You also get a lifetime warranty plus 30 days to love your new purchase or exchange it. And with 4.7 out of 5 stars and over 14,000 Google reviews, you know you'll be one happy customer. Don't wait. Shop the Ready, Set, Go event in Arlington's state-of-the-art showroom or online at arlingtontoyota.com today.
Do you know why you see so much camera footage of crimes? Wasn't the camera supposed to deter the crime in the first place? That's because they weren't safe touch cameras. You don't want to see someone breaking into your car. You want to see it before it happens. That's what safe touch cameras do. They alert you via text or video notification beforehand, giving you time to react to the situation. And safe touch cameras have 24/7 video storage in the cloud, the safest and securest way to store important events that only you, the safe touch customer, control. And here's the best news yet. You can get the safe touch surveillance system with 3 color cameras, 24-hour recording, secure storage for as little as $39.95 per month, including 24/7 service, cloud storage, and camera warranty. Camera installation is additional charge. This system will work with any security system or no security system at all. Or bundle the 2-way communicator package for additional savings. Find out how you can get a free survey and demonstration at safetouch.com. State license number EF0000233. Join the movement to end colon cancer. The annual March to Get Screened 5K is coming up on March 27th. All proceeds benefit the nonprofit Portland Groover Foundation to advance colon cancer research, provide free screenings, and financial assistance. Colon cancer is actually preventable with regular colon screenings. Hundreds of lives have been saved due to the support of our community and the March to Get Screened 5K. Bring the family and join us in downtown Jacksonville on March 27th. To register, donate, or for more information, go to marchtoGetScreened.com.
This is Robert Palmer, president of RP Funding. With home values at an all-time high, it's a great time to turn your home equity into the cash you need and get a closing cost credit from RP Funding. Visit rpfunding.com.
Terms and conditions apply. Unless 7168 Equal Housing.
My heart was racing just making spaghetti. I could have waited to tell my doctor, but I didn't wait.
I was short of breath just reading a book. I could have delayed telling my doctor, but I didn't wait.
They told their doctors and found out they have atrial fibrillation, a condition which makes it about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. If you have one or more of these symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness, this is no time to wait. Contact your doctor.
Brought to you by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
With thousands of dollars in new tax credits this year, Jackson Hewitt understands there's a lot at stake this tax season. We have 102 reasons to switch to a Jackson Hewitt Tax Pro, like giving you $100 just to switch. So that's 100. Then we'll track down every last tax credit so you get every dollar you deserve. That's 101. Finally, we guarantee you'll get your biggest refund. That's 102. Want to discover 103? Book an appointment at a participating location near you. Offer ends March 6th. Available at participating retail locations for new clients only. Mention this ad when filing. Terms apply. Visit jacksonhewitt.com for details.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Austin Lane from Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. Smart speakers are becoming part of everyday life, so why not use it to listen to the radio? Tell Alexa, Google Home, or any other speaker to play ESPN 690. Give it a shot weekday afternoons from 3 to 6.
That's the same story that Jay just told. Jacksonville and Mike Hughes at the time, who was the I think it was like the general manager of the Jaguars. So we in the room, he gave the same story that Jay just gave to me. He said, hey, if you walk past a wallet and you see it, 1, are you going to pick it up? 2, are you going to take the money out? 3, are you just going to leave it, or give it back to the person? I said, no, I'm going to pick it up. I'm going to take the money out, put the wallet back down, keep it moving. They was like, that's the guy we want on our team.
It didn't matter what your answer was. He's our guy.
Throw a lock on your locker, though. Be sure to throw a lock on the locker.
It was just like
in that locker room.
I think it was more about my upbringing.
That's Keyshawn Johnson. That's a pretty good story.
Oh, yeah.
That's good. Good line by Max, actually. You can put a lock on the locker.
Oh, man.
So let's go back there. Keyshawn is in the 96 draft.
Yeah.
The Jaguars end up with a good player in 96 now. His name's Kevin Hardy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And Jacksonville Jaguars have Keyshawn Johnson instead. Maybe at some point they don't have a Jimmy Smith.
Exactly.
And definitely don't have Jimmy Smith and Keenan McCardell.
Mm-mm.
Pretty wild.
Yeah.
I love looking at these former drafts sometimes. Keyshawn Johnson, Kevin Hardy, Simeon Rice to the Cardinals. He's a good player. Jonathan Ogden. Not bad, huh? Hall of Famer.
Yeah, I've heard of him.
Cedric Jones, defensive end out of Oklahoma, to the Giants at 5. Nothing crazy. Lawrence Phillips to the Rams. You know all about that story.
Yeah.
Terry Glenn, good player for the Patriots. They ended up going to the Super Bowl, by the way, that year, out of Ohio State receiver.
Yeah.
I think that was the one where Bill Parcells said she.
Oh, okay.
Story.
Yep.
Tim Biakabatuka.
Ah, yeah.
To the Carolina Panthers.
Receiver?
Running back.
Running back.
Out of Michigan.
I was off. Dang it. Yeah.
It's such a good name. Like, you remember how to say his name.
Yep.
Like, I remember Ricky Dudley, tight end out of Ohio State. Tight end out of Ohio State was picked 9th by the Raiders.
2022? What is this? Taking a tight end that high?
Wow.
In those times?
And Willie Anderson, offensive tackle out of Cincy. Was he just up for the finals? Wasn't he a finalist for the Hall of Fame? I'm pretty sure. Let's see. Hall of Fame finalist for the first time. Yeah, I thought so with Baselli. I thought he was the only other offensive lineman. So that's pretty wild, that story that Keyshawn Johnson told. You can listen to Keyshawn, Jay, and Max every morning on ESPN 690, 6 a.m. until 10 a.m. But Jacksonville Jaguars were knocking on that door.
Wow.
It looked like for Keyshawn Johnson, and how would things have changed in the mid to late 90s with the Jacksonville Jaguars if Keyshawn Johnson, maybe not for the better.
Yeah, I mean, listen, of all things that went down, I think wide receiver was an issue back then. You know what I'm saying?
No.
I think they were okay with that.
Things around to the right place. And
Yeah.
what kind of headaches would Keyshawn have been?
True.
Not to say, listen, the Jags had their share of headaches.
Coughlin would have got him right.
Could he have?
Coughlin would have got him right.
Could he have?
Yeah.
So,
I'd hope so.
Pretty wild to see. So tight ends are going today at the Combine. Tomorrow, the pass rushers, by the way, talk. And so many players, I shouldn't say so many, but enough players are not participating in the drills. Again, I'm not really sure the drills matter. I think today, hearing from Evan Neal and Ekwonu and those guys and how they view the draft and how they view their position and their skill set and how good they want to be. Like, I think, to be honest with you, even fans, like, I thought the sound was pretty good coming out of those offensive linemen. And I'll be interested to see what a guy like Thibodeau and Hutchinson say, because I think those are the guys in play for the Jacksonville Jaguars. I mean, it's a 4-person spot for the Jacksonville Jaguars. We said it earlier in the show. There's nothing else. There's no other way they're going. I've declared, and we all know this, I don't even need to declare it, there's not going to be a trade out. The Jags.
Brent gave us his word.
The Jags basically are picking one of 4 players.
Yeah.
And nobody's going to dance with the Jags at number 1 to trade. So you look at these 4 players, and I think that's the inspection process, not only for the Jags, but even for us and for fans. And we're looking at which one they're going to take. It does seem like everybody is in favor of Evan Neal. But I think Ekwonu, if you look at him, he actually, there's a lot of smoke and good smoke for him to be picked number 1 as well. I don't think that would be a bad pick, depending on what the Jaguars decide. That's the crazy thing about this draft. I don't think the Jags can miss right now if they pick one of those 2 offensive linemen. I do think the Jags can miss if they pick one of the pass rushers. Do you get that sense?
Yes, but also I think the boomer bust lies with the edge rushers as well.
That's true.
You know, I think
and the upgrade,
of course,
of your football team.
Of course, I think in 3 years from now, whether it's Hutchinson or Thibodeau, we could be talking about how they're one of the best edge rushers in the game and like how much of a difference they make. I mean, you think of a guy like, and I don't know if it's the best comparison because they didn't do that. I mean, they went to the playoffs, but like T.J. Watt. Like T.J. Watt, what he does for the Steelers, that's a game changer. Now, he was drafted later on in the draft. I don't think, he wasn't as highly regarded even as his brother, but it is what it is now. But, like, you look at what a guy like that can do. or even like a guy like Max Crosby, who was taken, I think, in the 3rd round or 2nd round, whatever the case may be. But like, look what he's done for that Raiders defense. You know, like if you can find that right guy in the draft at the edge rushing position, it can make the world of difference. You saw it 1 year with Josh Allen.
Yeah. So of that,
I mean, see with Micah Parsons.
Yeah, isn't Thibodeau that? Doesn't he feel like that? It's like the Jags have a chance all year. Everybody's like, Thibodeau. It starts to shift to Evan Neal, and now it's shifting a little bit, even Aquano in the mix. Hutchinson, it really starts to peak after Hutchinson has a big game against Ohio State.
Let me ask you this, right? Because I see Hutchinson, and like I said it before, like there's some Max Crosby resemblance, not just aside from the skin color, but other things as well, okay? So if you had the opportunity to get Max Crosby number 1, would you do it? Like if you knew, I mean, look, I guess here's what we could say: would you trade the first pick of the draft for Max Crosby right now?
I want to say no.
Okay,
but let me look up his numbers.
Okay, hey, I like it
because Crosby has outperformed his.
Where he was taken,
and so there's a lot of people like that. Like people like overachievers in that sense.
Sure.
So he's set up for that. But Austin, he had 8 sacks. This past year.
Yeah.
He's got 25 sacks in 49 career games. That's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not like
But I'm saying
unheard of.
He had 10 his rookie year.
He had, he's 10, 7, 8.
Yeah.
And he's only 24.
Of course.
So he's off to a hell of a start.
Yeah.
But to be honest with you, that's really not that different of a start than Josh Allen.
Sure.
And I think some people even in town are maybe even a little disappointed so far in Josh Allen because he was picked 7 overall.
Yep.
And meanwhile, Crosby is picked in the 3rd round.
I'm not saying that there's a right answer here. I mean, I would definitely
say no.
Yeah.
Like I would say I can find myself, at least at this stage, what I would call an 8 to 12 sack guy in other places than number 1 overall.
Now, let me ask you this. If you have an opportunity to get Nick Bosa, 9 sacks his rookie year, obviously got hurt his 2nd year, so that was a wash. But then this year he had 15.5 sacks. He's spending a first round pick on that. Or a number 1 pick overall. Yeah.
Yeah, because I feel like Bosa's ceiling is like a.
In a way, I feel like played 2 seasons.
I feel like Crosby, in a way, is overachieving.
Okay.
And I feel like the ceiling for Bosa might be 15 sacks for the next 6 years.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there's a big difference between a 15 sack guy and like a 11, 12 sack guy. Yeah. Especially if you can do it like a couple years in a row.
Correct.
Once in a while, you can have this mega year, right? Mm-hmm. And I mean, I'm not saying lucky, but things fall in place. You know, the right side passes the rush off and he lands in your lap, you know?
Well, and then one last question. Say it's Evan Neal. What do you want out of him then? What's going to justify him being the top overall pick? What do you want to see out of that?
I really think from that position, because kind of it's a non-sexy statistic position, that I want to see a multiple-time Pro Bowler in the conversation as a top 3 to top 5 offensive lineman at his position by year 3.
Year in, year out. Okay.
You know, and for the next 7 or 8 years. Of all the positions that you draft outside of quarterback, I feel like that offensive tackle that you take, if you're going to take that, is a guy that you want on your roster for a decade. Correct. Now, ideally, you'd want all of them on your roster for a decade. But I think with so much movement and price tags and everything else, but if you can say, this is our guy for a decade, that's why we're taking him number 1, you do that with quarterback, and I feel like you do that with tackle even more than pass rusher. And so I think that's what you'd want to you would want to do. Hey, Swoop Minute here on a Thursday. Don't forget to check out UNFOspreys.com. The women's basketball team won in the ASUN quarters yesterday, so it's on the Florida Gulf Coast this weekend. By the way, the baseball team won 2-1. Aiden Sweat from Fernandina Beach. Walk-off win over USF, 2-1 on a home run. It's his first collegiate home run. What a way to do it last night on the campus of the University of North Florida. UNFOspreys.com for more information and how you can give next week as part of their donation week, which is now a 3-day deal. The 7th, the 8th, and the 9th. We'll have Nick Morrow on early next week to talk more about that. UNFOspreys.com, news, schedules, results, and more. That is your Swoop Minute. We'll see you on TV tonight, CBS 47, Fox 30 for Austin Lane, Brian Middleton. I'm Brent Martineau. Have a good night, everybody. Back at it tomorrow. We'll be live from the Players' Championship in TPC Sawgrass.
Cutting the price of your wireless bill feels good. Really good. Actually, it feels great. You should try it out. So cut your bill by switching to Straight Talk Wireless. Now offering our $45 Silver Unlimited plan with 5 gigabytes of hotspot and nationwide 5G on America's largest, most dependable